Discretion is advised.
Happy Thursday. You're listening and or watching Pwnecast. This is episode 192. We are in patch 7.3.2. Tonight, guys, we have a very, very special episode, monumental occasion. I don't really know what we're going to call it, but we're going to be celebrating the end of 2017. Thank goodness. And, the end of 2017 in World of Warcraft. We do have a little bit of a special format tonight. After this week's random news, it's going to be pretty fun, I think, I hope, ? Not really sure. Also, we have a special guest here to help us celebrate the ending of 2017 properly. So make sure you grab a drink, make yourself a sandwich, duct tape your kids, your pets, whichever you have. I'm not going to judge. It's whatever. And make sure you stay right here so that you can help join us in saying goodbye to 2017.
You have crossed into the world of the dead in search of answers.
Amongst the Azeroth elite, there is a group that defies convention. A group that stands in the face of trolls and doesn't flinch. A group that strives on unity, trust, and unwavering resolve. A group that eats tacos. For the players, by the players, we bring you. She can start a revolt with a Chaos Bolt, Bell, the Pwnecast Vanguard. Snap back and get faster for the Pet Battle Grandmaster, Gemma Banks. With holy might as strong as his ancient knowledge, Remedies, the Argent Loremaster. We bow to no one. We are Legion. We are Pwnecast.
Apparently, when you're trying to share that you are live, the stream thing doesn't work and doesn't change your visuals. Guys, lessons learned. Now, this is going to be the last time of 2017 where I have to decide to unmute these fine, studly gentlemen that are escorting me on this day's episode. So I'm just going to relish in this moment and just have a quiet moment with you guys. Those of you that are listening, those of you that are watching, maybe you're watching live, maybe you have me on the radio on Spotify and you're listening to the sound of my voice while you're laying in a really relaxing bathtub. Maybe you don't own a bathtub. Maybe you're in the shower. Maybe there's other weird things going on at your home and I'm not aware of it, nor do I want to be aware of it. Regardless of all of that, I just wanted this moment with you guys to thank you for being a part of our 2017 and making it awesome. And with that being said, I feel kind of weird just talking to you without the boys. So we're going to go ahead and unmute these very fine gentlemen.
The men.
The men, right.
Some of us don't fit in bathtubs.
Right. My husband has that problem. He just looks really super awkward when he sits in the tub. But I mean, it is what it is. Well, in case you guys haven't noticed, we are joined this week by Lycan. He's going to help celebrate our end of the year episode in the proper manner. Now, for those of you who are new to Pwnecast and are not aware of who Lycan is our original lore master, the lore extraordinaire. You're muted for some reason.
Oh,
I knew you were going to do that, you son of a bitch. I knew he was going to do that because he knows I hate that. He was our original lore master and did pave the way for good old Rem to take over. So we're really, really happy to have you here, Lycan. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you. It was actually kind of weird. I was telling Belle right before the show that I was actually getting a little anxious. I was going to call and cancel at the last minute, but she'd come and burn my house down with green fire, so I better not.
Very happy to have you, Lycan.
I'm so happy to be here.
It's been a while. Yeah, I saw you in Raid. I got super happy. I just hadn't seen you gamed with you in a while either.
So what kind of happy are we talking about here, Gemma? Just so that I can gauge the level of...
He touched himself before the show.
That's what I thought. I kind of figured, but...
You two haven't missed a beat, the two of you.
It's just how we do. But besides Lycan, I did also bring the monk who got arrested for trying to tap his own keg in public, Gemma Banks. Why would you do such a thing?
I did not get a record. I'm clean. I'm good. no criminal record. Just figured we'd drink some beers. Well, we got no beers. I went for the beers in the fridge and my roommate drank them. So we're going to drink some alcohol and cheers to a good year.
So you're drinking hard alcohol then? Interesting.
Some vodka and pineapple juice.
Pineapple? Interesting. Interesting choice. I like it. Not judging.
So potatoes and pineapple.
There you go.
I did also bring the priest whose mom grounded him for him trying to silence her. Here's the thing. It's kind of funny because I feel like Rem really would try to silence his mom. She's like the older version of me, right, Rem?
That's pretty realistic actually, yeah, because we're act more like brother and sister than mom and son. So
Yeah, she's pretty much like the older, immature version of me. So basically just like me, except older, but not that much older, I don't think. I don't know. She looks pretty young. Maybe. Question mark. I don't really know. I
yeah,
don't really know
she's
that I
like
care.
28. Yeah, she would love you for that, but
I wish I was 28 again. Oh, those days. Oh, those days. Me and Lycan were talking earlier, and we were sharing AARP stories. Because that's how we do. We don't mind.
This is how you know you're officially old.
I
And I'm
get
gonna
the
try to hide up
AARP stuff
information,
in the
but
mail, and I refuse to, like, I throw them right away because I don't appreciate their bullshit.
AARP.
Yeah.
oh,
What
I
is
thought you were
that?
talking about pee stories. I was a little confused.
No, it's official. I got my AARP healthcare card in the mail, and I'm not real happy.
I was going to say grats.
I mean,
No.
if it makes you feel any better, I wouldn't give you a senior discount.
The lighting's bad, but it's really getting white. It's really bad.
I feel like it's normal, though. It doesn't look, you don't look old.
Beard looks good.
I feel old.
I mean, if we're going
Does that
based
matter?
off how we feel, like stuff creaks and crunches when I get out of bed, and I'm pretty sure that's not the way it's supposed to be.
Well, I'm on the right side of 30, and I creak and crack and shit. So I'm.
I like how you
just-
say the right side of 30 instead
I'll
of
say
just
when-
saying
when
like
you-
30.
When you're getting out of bed, stepping on Dark's throat, though, that might not be you that's creaking and cracking.
You're probably right about that, actually. You're probably right.
Probably.
There's been incidents the last couple days because of my bedding meltdown. I actually wrapped myself last night in my old sheet and my blanket for my recliner. So when I got up this morning, my husband's like, "You're so dramatic." Not dramatic.
I mean, you really are.
He said it, not us.
Anyway, we'll talk about more weird Belle moments of her manic meltdowns later. That really should be its very own segment, honestly. The meltdowns are about once a day over random things. So let's get into the quick little news this week. There wasn't a whole lot of stuff for us to talk about. The weekly event that's coming up for the reset, which, just so we're clear, the reset's going to be on Tuesday, which is the 5th. Is that right?
Might be. Let's double check.
Tuesday is the 2nd.
Tuesday's the 2nd. I was looking at not this calendar. So for the 2nd, the bonus event is going to be the Battleground bonus event, which is nice because you get in there, you do your Battlegrounds, and I think you get extra honor too during that event, just like you do in the skirmish.
Yeah, it's like 50% increase.
Yeah, so I mean, if nothing else, it's kind of crappy that they don't give that to us during the PvP brawl week, and I know they do that on purpose because then everybody would just queue for the brawls. But it would really be nice because the brawls are fun.
Some are fun.
But I mean, we had fun, which we'll talk about that later. This week's brawl was fun if you...
Define fun, because
Fun
not
if
from
you
what I
know what
heard
you're
out
doing.
of your mouth.
Fun if you... Hey, I was having fun last night. Kind of. I was getting annoyed a little bit, but... so there's no PvP brawl next week. If you're getting ready to do the weekend stuff, make sure you check out the current brawl that's going on, which is the Warsong Scramble. Pretty fun, relatively easy. Some people don't get the concept of please don't hang out in the room protecting the flags because there's 3 of them to protect. There's no point. We just need you to go
Yeah,
kill
so
people.
in a basic war song, yeah, that makes sense. But when there's 3, and even if you're holding the flag, they can still cap. It's kind of like, guys.
And they're just all hanging out there like they're going to protect the 3 flags. Seriously, there's 3 of them. You're not going to protect any of them. Like, that's
Right.
not the point of that. Which, I feel like this is probably a prime opportunity to talk about strategy in the brawl. So I think maybe starting with the next brawl, when that next brawl is up, I think we'll talk for part of my PvP segment, we'll talk about strategies in those brawls, because I feel like maybe a lot of people just don't know what strategies that they could use, or what the difference is or what the different changes are. So probably a good idea.
Yeah.
The Wing 3 for Rainfinder. Wing 3 for Raid Finders open January 2nd also, which is Hope's End. One step closer to the final wing, which is going to be like mid-January before that's... Yeah.
Yeah.
When is the date for that? Is that... I know it's not... It's like the following
January
week.
15th.
Yeah.
January 15th.
I pulled that out of my ass, if I'm right.
Is that why it smells like that?
It's probably the 16th, which you could probably also bet that that's going to be 16th. The patch release day as well. It makes sense that they would release the last wing of LFR on... That's my guesstimation that that's patch day. We haven't gotten any confirmation, but I mean, it could be farther. Maybe they're not going to do it till the end of January.
Confirmation and tarnation. Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't know. I haven't really. That's the one thing I have not been doing was keeping up with the LFRs.
I mean,
I can't do it.
It's good for alts for tier stuff. It's good for
alts.
It's also good. LFR is also good for when you run like your normal and your heroic with your progression team or however you're running it. You get the mission on your table for the raid gear.
Yeah.
So you could then go into LFR. Like, I think the first two I did were Antoran High Command I had to kill, and I just went in LFR and did it, and it was great because I got the gear before the next raid, which was nice. But, yeah, LFR, I mean, it's not really great for teaching yourself mechanics or even for having a good time.
Or for your sanity.
Or for really anything outside of just, like...
For Jimma, that's usually how he tries to complete his 4-set bonus, because he can just, like, settle for...
for the basic bitch tier instead of the...
Well, I mean, I had 3 of the 4, but the 4th that I got in LFR this week completed my set, so it was kind of convenient.
That's like accepting Taco Bell over Chipotle and accepting Chipotle over Mikasa.
But you're not getting offered all of them, so sometimes you're just starving and you need to eat. So Jimma's going to eat.
I'm trying really hard to follow, but I didn't drink coffee right
Bell.
before, and I'm going to just sit on that because that made me feel weird. And it also made me hungry because you said taco. Even though it's not the right kind of taco.
Feel weird.
What?
Nothing.
Did I make you feel weird? Probably.
Yes.
It's okay. Also, don't forget to go see Santa, guys. You have till the 2nd to go to Ironforge or Orgrimmar and go get your gifts that are under the tree because you get the Hearthstone Station.
Yeah.
You may or may not get
the sword.
Yeah, you may or may not get it. Do it on Horde and Alliance.
No, it was a bug. They fixed it a couple days ago.
Well, for those of us who didn't get the Horde, like I logged on Horde to get the wooden toy Horde side because obviously it's got a Horde symbol, and I got nothing. The box was just like...
You just go back and you'll be able to pick it up.
Interesting. Well, make sure you do it on Horde and Alliance for the wooden toy so that you have it on both.
Because it is separate for both. Yeah.
And isn't the Hearth Station separate also?
Mm-hmm.
It is different.
Oh, really? I'll have to log into my...
I think it's just a different visual, question mark. Like, words are hard, guys. It's really, words are really difficult on a Thursday night. So, yeah, there's that. Go get your toys. Don't forget about it. Like, even if you are not, like, actively playing, at least go get it because you never know if you're not going to be able to get it the following year. Like, usually they rotate whatever's in the one gift. They put it in, like, the stolen present, right? Like, they rotate it out to one of the other different gift boxes. But you might as well just kind of get that stuff. It's nice to just be a collector and to have it.
Yeah, this is one of the first times they didn't do the RC car thing, so...
I finally got all of mine last year, so I wasn't sure if that was just something this year or...
No, the sword board and the Heart Station's brand new.
Gotcha.
The Heart Station's actually pretty cool. There's extra action buttons that you get to, like, push.
The only thing that's been consistent is the little pet helper, the mechanical Grinch, and then you get, like, cookies and stuff.
I really like cookies, so, it's good for me, guys. It's good for
I
me.
did it all for the nookie, so you can take that
I knew you were going to go there. I don't know why I'm shocked or surprised because I completely 100% knew that you were going to go there, and I'm acting like I didn't even know. Like, am I shocked? No, I said it in my head before you guys said it out loud. So that's...
It's funny that we both did it at almost the same time.
Somebody hit their mic, and it made a weird...
I thought somebody queued up for something.
I know, it's...
Ding! There's Jim's first one.
sounded a
Cheers!
little
Every time you
weird.
hear that sound, you take a drink.
Is that what we do?
No, it'll never happen again. Take a drink.
Oh, that's a nice little game. I
No,
like
it's
what
me.
you're doing.
I didn't mean to hit it. It's my bad.
I'm never gonna get drunk at this point. Terrific. Come
Well,
on.
I mean, are you trying to get drunk?
No, it's a joke. It's a joke.
Not funny
Or
this
is
time.
it?
Not after last week.
You guys were a drunken mess last week.
Okay, when we say we were a drunken mess, we were not a drunken mess. I was in control of all of my faculties. I can tell you, don't say it,
Okay.
Rem. I know you really want to make a pun here. We're not going to do it. Rem was like,
He was a drunken mess.
Yeah, he was.
I was a drunken mess. I was just having a good time.
Listen, you don't have to, like.
This is a judge-free zone.
Yeah, we're not judging. I mean, well,
I'm not.
there might be a little judgment.
There's always a little bit of judgment.
We always say there's no judgment, but I mean,
Right.
there's judgment. When was the
Well, that
last
was a
time
judgment.
you got like hammered, like in?
Ooh, was it New Year's Eve last year? When I was on, was that when I was? No,
Were you guys on?
it was
Zoom
it was a
last
night in
year?
December that I was on it with you. I was on Zoom with you and Dark, and decided to get really drunk. And
I heard about that.
yeah. Okay, yeah, BlizzCon. BlizzCon probably was the last one.
Hey, me too.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like you may or may not have made out with anybody at BlizzCon that
Oh
year.
yeah,
He did slip
yeah, and
me
he's
tongue.
also.
And he can't defend himself right now, so he did slip me tongue.
I did feel like there was some
You
tongue
wanna just
action.
tell
I
the
feel like
quick
there's
story?
also a video somewhere of that said action.
There was reciprocating with the tongue. It wasn't
Well,
just one or the other.
I mean, there's like reciprocating and there's like reciprocating. You know what I'm saying? That's the
There's
difference
a lot
between.
of reciprocation going on. Let's just say that.
That's the difference between getting a girlfriend and keeping your girlfriend, is knowing the difference between the two versions of reciprocating. You dig? Moving on, very awkwardly. Quick item here. The world first Vault of the Wardens Mythic 26 clear happened. It actually happened yesterday, which, I mean, Vault of the Wardens, at least for the last boss, is kind of tough anyway, even on just regular. Well, when I say tough, I mean tough in randoms when people don't grasp concepts. But I feel like I would not want to try to do that on a plus 26. Now, the affixes were sanguine, volcanic, and fortified. Listen, none of that sounds fun for me, like at all. Because the sanguine is the little pools on the floor, right?
Right?
Yep.
That drop.
That heals the ads and yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't.
And then volcanic with the shit blown up, and then they're
Yeah,
what,
Spawn
stronger?
dragon and everybody, and then yeah. So that doesn't.
And
sound
then
like
the
a-
fortified is the,
Extra health, sorry.
yeah, the extra health.
No.
Yeah,
It
that
is
doesn't
not
sound fun at all. Like, none of that sounds fun.
Yeah,
So the
no.
people, the guys that cleared it, there was J.B. He is a restoration druid. He or she, I don't really know what you are. Mitbit,
save.
a balanced druid. Marv Inc., an affliction warlock, of course. Shaky B.
Shakib?
Shakib, I don't fucking know.
Shakab.
I don't know.
Guys, I already told you, words are hard. It's tough to word. He's a vengeance demon hunter, and then Darky. I don't know. I feel weird about
Christ.
saying that. Guys, I'm not racist. It just happens to be.
Wow, what did I come back to?
Oh, she's picked it up where you
Guys,
left
I'm
off.
getting arrested.
That was good.
He's a he's a Windwalker monk. So Icy Veins posted about it. You can go watch. They have a tank point of view, and they have Darky has a Windwalker monk point of view, which from a melee standpoint, I guess that would be kind of interesting.
I'd want to watch that actually. I've been windwalking a little bit.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun.
No.
Like, I would like to do a Court of Stars. That would probably be the only one that I would want to do at a super high level like that. Only because I really like Court of Stars, but
Like going to 26, for me personally, going over 15 is kind of like
right.
irrelevant.
Right. Like, I don't even know what that looks like. I pretend all day long like that's something I could possibly do, but I couldn't even complete a 15 in the time. I was really sad because I didn't get my weapon appearance. So you have to complete it in the time.
For what, 17?
No, for the 15. You know,
15, I haven't done 15.
Yeah. I mean, I thought you just had to do it. I didn't know you had to do it in the time frame. So we went in and I was like, fuck it. Who cares if we die and we don't clear it? Or we don't, clear it in the time. And then I went back to my order hall and was like, oh.
4 hours later.
Yeah, because sprinkles are for fucking winners, guys. They're not going to give you an appearance for just...
There is no participation trophy.
Right. You're not just going to get one for showing up. You actually have to complete the action accordingly. Now, on that, kind of a little sidebar, I was kind of messing around on the internet, just searching random things as I do occasionally. And I came across this DeviantArt page. And since we were talking about Court of Stars and, hashtag fan favorite Suramar, I found this really cool DeviantArt piece called Battle for Suramar. And it was Chaos is the artist on DeviantArt. I thought this was so cool. Like, I really, really, really liked this. Obviously, I was Googling Suramar things, so this is what popped up. And I was like, ooh, Battle for Suramar, that looks fun. But I thought their rendition of this little scene was pretty nice. Did you guys get to see it?
Yeah, I just loaded it now. It looks really nice.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty neat. Like, it was good for me. So,
Look at it all.
Like, I liked it.
Lovely.
Is that supposed to be Manduin?
I mean, it kind of looks like him.
Because
He's kind of handsome.
that hoe wasn't there. So
Also, Ella, thanks for the subscribe on Twitch. We love you. Yeah, I feel like
who's that?
that is
Strong like.
Mandarin.
She's a
Sounds like
strong
a
like. I
gnome.
don't know about love.
Now, the last but certainly not least when it comes to the news, we didn't have a whole lot of news, which is great because we have a lot this episode without the news. We don't really need that, and we tend to squirrel anyway, so it's probably better that we don't have that. The World of Warcraft Chronicles 3, which I still don't have 2 because scrub.
Just wait for it to go on sale. You don't buy it right away.
Well, the 2's been out.
These don't go on sale. It's not from
Yeah, it's unfortunately... Well, maybe there was a sale online and I missed the sale. But a Czech publisher, Phantom Print, shared artwork from World of Warcraft Chronicle 3 on Facebook. Naturally, our friends over at Wowhead grabbed that information because they cyberstalk all things World of Warcraft, and I'm going to show you guys here. So this is one of the artwork, which there was some banter and arguing back and forth on whether or not this was Arthas and Jaina. I think we're pretty sure it's Arthas and Jaina, right? Was Arthas not blonde? Somebody said it was Rin and his wife, but
my assumption was when I first saw it was it's Arthas and Jaina, but the lion crest up top was not part of Lordaeron, so it couldn't be Arthas.
But according to somebody who linked stuff from one of the books, that lion crest, it was part of Lordaeron.
No,
I read like
they.
See, doesn't that look like Mage Town behind?
But that's not necessarily Alliance crest, like in Alliance per se. It doesn't really look Alliance in nature. I think people just made that assumption. But if you read
the lion isn't Alliance, it's
No, it's Stormwind.
But if you read through the because he was a Stormwind captain, guard, officer.
Who are you talking about now?
I'm telling you, I read like 30 fucking threads about this image specifically. But what if, is it possible that Chronicles 3, is it possible that that's Anduin when he's older?
I can't.
And that's not Jaina and we're just making the assumption?
Maybe it is Anduin and he's finally getting to tag Jaina. He's been calling her auntie for such a long time,
If you read... That's so weird.
Honestly, if I had to pick, I mean, it's definitely not Varian because Varian's dark haired.
Right.
Yeah.
But I believe, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Rin supposed to be light-haired as well? Because Varian had made comments that his son looked like his father, looked like his grandfather. So that would I honestly would say that is Rin and what was her name? Rin's wife.
I don't recall.
I am gonna just throw it out there that I think that it could possibly be Anduin, and I'm only gonna say that because it's the non-popular opinion. I didn't see anybody mention that possibility, but to me, when I think blonde, I think Anduin. I don't really think anybody else. But Rem, if you read through, somebody had brought up an instance of why that symbol or why that lion made sense in a Lordaeron perspective, because of something where one of them was like the captain, the guard of Stormwind, or the captain's guard, or he was an officer. I don't really know. You'll have to read. I get the stuff mixed up because I'm not,
Yeah, you're confusing me. But
well, if you just read it, like, it's pretty. All you have to do is read a couple threads, and you'll know what I'm talking about. So this next one is going to be. I don't really know what this is, because I don't want to say I think I know what it is and then look like a retard. But
no, go for it.
No, I'm
Go
not.
ahead, I want to hear you say it. Go ahead.
You're gonna get it right. No, you're gonna get it right.
Is
No
that
one will ever
Cthulhu?
think that.
Yes,
Okay.
See?
Yes.
You're right.
So I thought it was Cthulhu, but I wasn't sure. The only reason why I figured it was because him and the other guy, the other blobby guy, look similar, but the scarabs are the reason.
Saran?
Yeah, Yogg-Saron.
Yogg?
They all things with balls and testicles. Tentacles, I mean. Just look.
Wow.
Guys, this is what happens when you're live. I meant tentacles. Obviously,
You're on fire
tentacles,
tonight.
guys.
So the big thing to tell them apart is Cthulhu's all about the eyeballs, Yogg-Saron's all about the mouths. N'Zoth is all about his tentacles. So not testicles, tentacles.
The scarabs are the reason, because I recently did I did the nightmare, the lucid nightmare, and you have to go into the cave or the raid where Cthulhu is or something. I don't know.
Proud of you.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy that I knew that. And then the last one here is, now you see Varian and his boy. Now, if you look, like, the yellow is pretty similar to that previous picture. I'm just going to go with, I feel like that's Anduin.
I mean, it's very possible because Volume 3 is going to be bringing in, like, Warcraft 3 timelines and bringing it all together to the current timeline. So they could be, like, bringing it to the current ones. Because, I mean, Manduin's going to be
Killed.
Manduin.
I feel like because they're showing us the tiny version of him, that it might be smart to assume that perhaps there's a fast forward in time there.
Well, I mean, he didn't really look that much older. He looked like he currently does in the BFA trailer, so...
Like Heath Ledger?
A young Brad Pitt? Yeah.
Okay, like, and maybe you can settle the score once and for all.
Okay.
Does he look like a young Heath Ledger or a young Brad Pitt?
If anything, it's a mix of both.
In the trailer. We're talking about the trailer.
Heath Ledger. I'm going to have to say Heath Ledger.
See?
Knight's Tale.
Agreed. I thought the exact
Thank you.
same thing. Agreed. I was thinking A Knight's Tale.
And up until he smiles, yes. But it's a mix between... It's like a mixture of
It's
Heath Ledger
weird
and
that
Brad
you're
Pitt.
picking apart his smile. That's a little...
That's what I'm saying. The facial structure is different.
I'm not judging you. Just saying.
He has a Steven Tyler mouth like me.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, he's had.
And the shit I say on the show is weird, right, guys? Like,
Right.
It is too, but I feel like
stuff
I'm
I
just,
say is
watching
super
the
weird.
Show back in the day, like laughing at what I'm watching, like in a good way. Continue. It's good.
Okay. So before we get to the kind of interesting topics of conversation that we're going to have this evening, I thought that it would be nice, before we get to, I want to talk about Lycan's year in review, I thought it would be nice to just kind of play catch up with Lycan and see, you know, where the fuck have you been? What the fuck have you been doing? And when the fuck did we get ice cream? Like...
What have I been doing? Really not much of anything. I've been playing around in game. Went through, I guess you would call it a dry spell there for a while. I got into that funk that
Rem's the same. He's got a dry spell going on right now too.
Well, different dry spell, but they make a cream for that Rem. But they no,
that was such a sick burn. I need to get a soundboard for when somebody burns, like that way we could have like the sizzle. Anyway,
We need a soundboard for everything. Go ahead.
Good. All right.
If
So
there's
they
an air horn, it's not a proper soundboard. So
I did the same thing that we promised each other when I was on the show, and it was me, and it was some of the original members that we said we'll always be playing the game, that we're never gonna not find something interesting about it. And honestly, not covering the news, not being on a podcast every week, I got into that funk that a lot of people do, where I lost interest in the game. I thought about unsubscribing. Matter of fact, I had just canceled at the beginning of this month, and I had another month to play, so I'll play through it. And then I get back into it again, and it's like you said, there's always different things we can find. And I finally got back into raiding again. I got back into the pet battle stuff that I've been slacking on. I got that Globe Yeti that Gemma Banks was teasing me about on the raid the other night. So when I did quit, though, I was playing some other Blizzard games, but not much of anything else. I missed a lot of achievements. I missed a lot of stuff. Now I have to wait an entire year to come back up and around again. But really just focusing on my health. I left the show for health reasons. A little over a year ago now. And
exactly a year.
Yeah. And I've been focusing on the health situation I've got. I've been doing better. So things have been working. They got me on really good drugs. So that's always fun.
Yeah, see, you get to do that stuff privately. The people that listen and watch have to deal with my mental breakdowns in between new medication live from episode to episode.
That's right. I've been keeping up with your mental breakdowns too, especially with non-high count, high thread count sheets and stuff like that. So
it was a terrible terrible day. It was a terrible last 3 days over fucking sheets, guys.
It's just next on the list, and it was just the next thing on the list.
It really was just a bad... Guys, there's two things that are really important that you buy the correct thing of, and you really want to make sure that you're thinking about it in advance. So you could just consider this really good advice from Belle on how to live. But there are two things that you really, really want to take your time when you're buying. One of those things is toilet paper. You can't have super linty toilet paper. Your toilet paper shouldn't leave any surprises behind. You dig what I'm saying? You guys know what I'm talking about, especially you guys are boys. I know you know what I'm talking about. But especially for women, you really need to pay attention to the kind of toilet paper you're buying and make sure that you're setting yourself up for success and not failure and embarrassment later. And the second thing is good bed sheets, and I'm going to tell you why. We spend a quarter of our lives in bed, right? That's where... we spend most of our time, and you really need to make sure that what you're getting is good. Now's not the time to buy the $6 sheets at the dollar store, Walmart, wherever. You really got to go for broke, and you need to get yourself the Pima cotton, the Egyptian cotton, probably the percale. Sometimes the sateen is okay, but you really just need to make sure that you feel your sheets. You need to know what you're buying before you buy it. Don't think that you should get the cheaper ones because... it's just not comfortable. So there you've had it. Now you've got the
latest breakdown from Belle.
Well, now you've got life advice. So in case you were wondering those two things, don't buy stuff on the internet, guys.
Oh, what was she saying?
So do you think Secret Sauce was one step ahead of you by getting that crazy good bed that he got? I know you're talking sheets, but...
First of all, he pays payments for his bed. The only fucking thing I'm paying payments for is my car and my bills. I'm not going to pay payments for something...
from talking about sheets to talking shit. That's
I'm not going to pay payments for something I sleep on. I've made fun of him since the day he got that bed, and I just can't see myself making payments for...
I made payments on my tattoo, and 2 more payments, that bad boy's mine.
Oh, yeah.
It just doesn't, I'm glad he's got a nice bed, but, bruh.
Well, I appreciate the life advice. The one thing with Lycan gone, obviously, we all miss Lycan on the show, and BlizzCon was a blast this year, but we did miss you a little bit at BlizzCon.
A little bit. You see how he did it. It was a blast this year, but we did miss you a little
Well,
bit.
of course we had fun. You don't just not have fun at the Disneyland of Blizzard, but
It was the best BlizzCon ever. I mean, honestly, I don't know. And it wasn't because you
Not a
weren't
shot
there,
at
but I
you.
mean, everything fell into place. The party was super chill.
Yeah.
I wasn't super stressed like I was last year. I mean, a lot of things it was legitimately the best BlizzCon ever. I'm really excited for next year, but
Yeah.
it was good. We did miss you though. There were many instances where
For real.
we said that it would have been.
Yeah, we were sneaking in alcohol and we were thinking about you.
Yeah, we were so much more prepared with alcohol and in different.
We really had it. We had it in. I brought tons. Well, that's definitely for another time and place. So you're back playing, and I think you probably go through what a lot of people go through, and what I don't really allow people to go through as cast members, right? Like I don't really let anybody have those moments where they just don't want to play WoW, or they want to unsub, or I don't really allow that because
No.
it's authentic. You can't podcast about World of Warcraft and not be playing. It just doesn't make any sense. So like, and most people in the background, which I think we could be candid for the end of the year episode, most people in the background don't know that a lot of the reason why we do have cast member, I'm going to call them positive transitions, but while we do have those, 99% of the time a cast member moves on and we don't really say it, is because they're not playing World of Warcraft. And, it might have been a month or two where I've kind of said, hey, I noticed you're not playing, like, I'll kind of just, hey, what's the deal? And then we come at an impasse where it's finally time to where the cast member might have just been struggling with it and didn't want to kind of admit it out loud, or, whatever. But it just is what it is. And those things they're okay to do that, because we'd rather part ways as friends versus the bitterness and frustration from me having to. I don't like faking it, right? And I feel like our viewers and our listeners at home deserve 100%. And if you're just if you're pretending to play World of Warcraft, there's a lot of podcasts out there where they're not active World of Warcraft players, and I know that. And I could call 3 of them out. One of them is a very big podcast, but I don't. But I feel like it's not enough to just read news and to feel like how that affects you. You really kind of have to be living in that moment to really know what matters and kind of feel like a part of the community. I don't think following stuff on social media is enough to stay involved. So, but I think more for you.
Mantras was fake it to make it, though.
Right. But I feel like more for like, and I think it was just a lot of health stuff that was frustrating.
Yeah.
Because that could be,
And look, I've been playing the game now for a better part of 10 years. I mean, I came right after Lich King dropped, and it does become a struggle after a while. And you're right. It does affect how things are affecting the show, how what your expertise on things are. And you said it, we did have cast members that have done that in the past. And, we had to really push to have them go through, going through all the steps to say, hey, look, this is your area of expertise and you're supposed to be commenting on this, but it's hard. And if you're not playing the game, you don't know what it's like. I mean, there's so many little nuances that you're not going to pick up on.
For sure.
And even with not even doing the lore now for, like I said, over a year, it's even hard to keep up on it if you're not on it on a daily basis as well. And I give Rem credit. You're not focusing
on that in game because it's not your It's not your kind of just doing quests without really paying attention to the story sometimes.
Yeah, I've logged in a couple times. Hey, have you heard about this? I went, no. When did that happen? I was like, 6 months ago, and I'm going, I totally didn't hear about it. And meanwhile, it was a big lore thing. And it's just because I haven't been keeping up. Yeah, of course, I still read the lore. I got Chronicles 2, and, when 3 comes out, I'll definitely be getting it. It has been such a big part of my life and what I've enjoyed about the game but if you're not doing it, every single day and researching this and drawing the connections between the two things that you're looking up, then yeah, you lose it. So, again, back to what we were saying, 2 years ago. If there's something that you're not finding interesting in a game, try something different. There's always something out there that'll keep you, back into the game and keep you more, engrossed into the storyline, no matter which way you want to go with it.
And even try something that you thought you hated. I think last week or the week before, I talked about fishing, how I hated fishing. It just was so annoying. And now I enjoy it. I like to go do some of the fishing stuff. But I hated it. But because I forced myself, and I think I did this at the end of Warlords of Draenor, right? Because I was trying to keep myself active. And I like it now. But he's right. You have to step yourself outside of what you think your normal gameplay box is. And you have to seek those things out. You might think you don't like them. You might not know. People often don't know what... I mean, you don't know if you like a flavor until you taste it. So isn't that the same in game? I mean, that's the only other way I could kind of like...
There's one thing in the game that I really enjoyed that I never get to do anymore, and that's being on an RPG team. You know, I got tossed
you and
off
me
it.
both. I don't have an RPG team either. It's
I
funny you
remember
mentioned that.
Yeah, I remember that.
I
Yeah.
also don't have an RPG team. But then again, PvP's been a struggle
Rip
this
liking.
whole expansion for me. But I mean, it's
Now
whatever.
you know what it's like.
Yeah, I have no...
Karma's a bitch.
You mother...
But on that note, where like in mentioning, like for instance with the lore, especially with the way they're doing the game now, where it's like the raid is very lore and story, like intertwined. Like you actually have to clear it to see it. Like there's stuff that if I wasn't doing the current content and I was to speak on it for the show, like there's connections I wouldn't be able to make or even notice because like this like obscure quest shows something that you wouldn't see anywhere else. So it's really important to just be in the know in the game and be like play everything, at least try everything.
Oh, I haven't done a horde character in forever. I've got them still sitting at level 80 or so.
Yeah, that's something that I'll be borderline forced to do in BFA.
So Ella just... I don't know if she just sent it, but I barely noticed. The Before the Storm cover.
Oh, is it released?
It's
Or
Anduin.
leaked?
I'm right. That is Anduin holding that girl's hand. I am 100% right. Guys, if this makes it where I end up being right about something story-wise, like...
You win.
No, it
Before
just
the
means
Storm?
that I've like... You know, I'm...
You've already evolved as a
You
someone
know.
who pays attention to the story and knows their lore.
So, to catch you up, Nate, Before the Storm is Christy Golden's new book that's set to be
Yeah.
released around the time BFA is going to be released. But the the book, it's Anduin, and he has long hair, and he's basically wearing the same fucking outfit he's wearing in that picture I showed, guys.
Nah, it's not the same outfit though.
It's
Where-
kind like
If you
armor's
look,
all the
if you
same.
look at the brooch that he has on his over his heart on the Before the Storm book, it is different. Maybe no.
But it's the same lion that's above his head on the little pedestal thing up there.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm telling you, I might be onto something. I might just have my smarticles when it comes to this kind of stuff. June 12th, 2018 is when the book's going to be released. So
Yeah,
it's
that's
interesting because that's going to be BFA in nature. We already know that. So if it's released in June, that's interesting because when have I been saying that the BFA was going to be released?
March or April, you liar.
First of all,
Got her.
but I've been telling people that it's not going to be August. Nobody listens to me. But that's
I'm gonna
okay.
burst your bubble though.
What?
Look at the swords. Look at the swords
Well,
and
that's
the one
also
with
a
him and
thing.
Jaina.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not going to be the exact same, but that basically looks like what we just saw. Now I have to go on a mission to find out who that girl could be because everybody's assuming it's Jaina, but what if it's not Jaina? What if it is Jaina?
But that's not Charlemagne. He does not have Charlemagne in that picture where he's reaching out for Janus that you think is Jaina's hand.
Guys, listen.
That is not
I'm going to do
Charlemagne.
this off show and I'm going to do some investigating. Let's take a moment. Those of you that are watching on YouTube or listening on iTunes or Spotify or wherever you listen to us, send me an email and tell me who you think that couple is. Do you think it's Arthas and Jaina? Do you think it's Anduin? Who else could it be if it's not them? I want to know what you guys think, so make sure you guys comment and let me know.
It's Colonel Mustard with the pipe in the library.
I don't think that's Jaina, though, for sure. I really don't think that's Jaina.
Is laying the
I don't know. Anyway, okay. So
Colonel
you're rating now,
I am.
and you're
I stepped into Antorus last night. Night before.
What?
Night before. Yeah, finished what we do
Big
3
boy
bosses.
campaign.
You know,
we might have
4
done a couple
bosses.
more, yeah.
there's a
I think we did 4 bosses.
there's a direct correlation between internal unhappiness and removal of the norm, right? I don't really know what the psychological term is, but I know when we're outside of the things that we normally do, I think it's safe to say that we often disconnect. So I'm sure you probably felt like pretty great to be even just involved. What was it, yesterday? Probably feel pretty good about that, huh?
Who, me? I was kind of confused there for a second.
Just talking about because you're talking about the raid.
Yeah, I
Well, you
wanted to
see,
go.
when elderly people kind of become distant. It's good to be included.
Wow.
From one lore master to another. I like it. Lycan was happy because everything was an upgrade.
It was an upgrade. I even got I've got like 3 or 4 pieces out of it.
Awesome.
But no, it was neat to go in and see some. I mean, other than seeing, the raid zone, there's really not a lot of lore, I would say, in the first 3 or 4 bosses. Like the World Breaker. Okay, the dogs were fun. Now the Titan fight was boring, and I was slightly. Now I know it's only on normal.
Which Titan fight, the Argamar or the Argus, or what?
The one where you have to kill the waves of ads.
Oh, the Coven.
Oh, hold on. What is the name of that? Come on, Bell.
Where you jump up in the air and you.
I know the
and
Antoran
you
High
glide.
Command. And
No.
Vathramask, because we've been wiping on him fucking 20 million times. To
No,
the
we-
same
we-
freaking
we-
mechanic.
We tried the Antoran High Command, and it was okay. ENR.
Oh.
The Lifebinder.
Oh, that's a shit
Sorry, I had to
show.
look it up.
That's the only way I can describe that entire run as a shit
Yeah.
show.
All of a
That
sudden
was-
it's over. It's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that was very underwhelming. Like the High Command we struggled on, but with, you got the Fellhounds and Garothi, the World Breaker, it was okay. Even the Portal Keeper was decent, but none of it was like really as in-depth lore-wise that I wanted to see. I am looking forward to going towards, Agrimar, and I'm looking.
Oh, you
forward
haven't cleared it yet, right?
No, I haven't cleared.
Yeah.
Not,
So that I was made a question pop up in my mind. So what do you think about the retcon of the Titan Souls not being in the Keepers?
not happy.
Me too.
Because if you look pretty much all through Wrath, that's
yeah,
why, it's disappointing.
that was the whole focal point of Ulduar and stuff like that. So
Right.
it's like,
Right, yeah, they were supposed to be holding these Titan souls in them, and now they're not, and it's just, I understand the point of going back and retconning minor things. I really do, but to go back and change, basically an expansion's lore just to focus where you want to go to next, I would say definitely disappointed.
yeah, if they explained a way that they captured them from the Keepers or something other like that, then
Right.
okay. But they were just like, Aranar's in hiding, and they have the other guys. So
I just really don't like the fact that I did 600k DPS on Heroic EONR and I fucking parsed at 32% on Warcraft logs. That's how bad that fight is that I parsed at 600k DPS, guys. Something is wrong. To
I
me, it
spent
wasn't
more of
really-
the time just hitting my extra action button and floating around, looking at all the pretties, and
Antoran High Command is actually my favorite fight in the raid, and I don't know why. It's just I really, really like all the things that are going on. It's just really fun for me.
is that the one with the shields and the generators and the pods? And no, I don't like that one.
Yeah, that's the where you move from part to part, and the pod drops the shield, and yeah, that's a lot of people don't like that.
struggled. The reason why you probably dislike that liking because it went way worse than it did the previous week.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we did have some of the progression raiders join us, so it was obviously easier when you've got more people that have already completed it, but it's not. Yeah,
It's fun once you've got it down. It's the fight itself is actually quite fun.
We were just
By the
so
way-
close a few times, so it was like to get so close and then like.
Let's.
by the way, really quick, Lycan, if
can
when
you
you go
save
back
that
to
for later
Aranar,
because we need to.
it's 2 seconds. There's a Genosar at the bottom of the instance.
There's a what?
a Genusar, one of the big plant species from Draenor.
Yeah,
It's down below the platforms.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna have to. I'm gonna have to check it out next week.
Something that could have been an email, Rem. It could have been an email.
Yo, I was gonna let you finish, but
I just I just need to time keep because we're already coming up
Yeah.
on an hour and we haven't even gotten to the big part of the show. So I just need to make sure that it's
get to
fine
the
for
meat.
live, but
Whoa!
Wait,
Remember,
the big part of the show is liking being here. I'm confused.
That's-
of
yeah.
course, like
if
we're
we
already.
go over another hour, that's another $250.
He did
She asked
say
me to be on the show, and I says, "I'm sorry, I charge $250 an hour."
he did say that. It made me laugh
That's
because
cheap.
there are people in real life in the World of
We're gonna
Warcraft
rent them
industry
out to
that say that.
others.
So
Wait, I
okay.
could be getting paid for this. What?
Let's talk about what is your best moment in World of Warcraft for the entire year of 2017 if you had to pick a moment?
Argus, one word. Just, I honestly, I like the whole zone. All three of them. I like, the fact going in there and just to finally go back to the home planet of the Draenei and to see basically where the entire storyline started. And I've always said this is that the whole game revolves around the Draenei. And I think we're going to actually see that as it further progresses deeper. Not as much, I don't think, in Battle for Azeroth, but I think as we start seeing, as everything starts wrapping up together, that the whole storyline is all about this, this planet that we're on now, this race of people, and most importantly, why the three brothers aren't together. If you can't have the three Draenei brothers together and have all their powers united, then I think that is going to be the biggest surprise of why the Draenei are the focal point. And to go back to Argus, when you complete the raid and you finally see Argus, and he brings Argus right to Azeroth, that was just, it gave me chills. I still kind of got chills talking about it, and that was for me probably the best thing this year.
Okay, now we have a good, now we have to have a bad. What is your worst moment in World of Warcraft this year?
The grind again.
The beginning.
Even
It's not a
now,
grind anymore. It's like
it's not, but I mean, to still go in and unlock for like, if I was thinking about taking my priest into our, the guild's fun run that we have, and going in and either doing, probably healing with them. Yeah, the grind to get the artifact knowledge is nothing. I mean, hell, I had that thing once I hit 110, I was already unlocking, concordance, and which is okay. I mean, yeah, that was nice to bring it up. But to get all the other little nuances, you still have to get exalted with all these things, and you have to still do this and still do that. And you log in every day, and yeah, we may not have dailies anymore, but it's still the grind, and I get on there just to keep up with the DK. I can spend 3-4 hours of grinding out artifact knowledge and, trying to get my levels up, and now messing around with the Netherlight Crucible and trying to figure out which ones are the best. It's still there. And I'm not asking everything to be handed to me by any means. I am not a scrub. I have no problem working for what's out there. I look at, my druid, which I still am sitting
only
at
thing that should be grindy in a sense is you have to do all the questing on Argus for each tune in order to be able to do the world quest on Argus. But
yeah,
everything else, like the second you have your weapon, one token opens up like all your things plus 4 concordance, and then you can go and in like 7 world quests you could be already gear comparable to be able to go in and raid with LFR, and then you could get gear from that, and then your Argus gear for your Gorgonites. What are they called? Argonites. What is it? Argonite?
The Veiled Argonites,
Archer.
yeah.
I mean, they've refined it quite a bit, even just the past couple, like the past month or so, with when they released the last patch. Like it's pretty easy.
But still, my playtime is very limited.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if
I
you
got
have
my health things are under control. I can only stand sitting at my desk for such a limited amount of time, and I'm still talking 3-4 hours though throughout the day. But it's like if I don't I have to. It's just frustrating because hell, Warlords. I had multiple 110s, and they were all up there, and I was able to go pick and choose which one I was going to bring into what raid. Like,
from the weapon perspective, yeah, that's frustrating.
Yeah. Cash in our guild, I don't know how he does it.
But
the man
Cash isn't
has
the only
that
one.
work.
Obviously, Cash has all the challenge appearances, but all of my tunes are maxed with their mounts, with their weapons are pretty comparable to Bell's. Like, I've maintained that with great ease with the way that they've done it, but I also have, like, I might have less time than you in game recently.
I think you do, and I don't know if it was just for the time that I took off and wasn't really focusing.
Because you're not in that grind of alting anymore.
Yeah.
So the okay, do this, boom. You're not in that mindset. So even the content now is not really fresh for you, or it's fresh for you. You're not really sure of what it is you're probably doing even on your main, I would think.
Right.
So
like my main will always be Lycan, obviously. The DK is just gonna be there.
I feel like if you did a ton of stuff on Lycan and you went through a lot of things, like, your alting process would be super easier because you've already done it. I think a lot of it's because you're trying to play catch up and do the alts at the same time so that you can run other content. But I feel like that's probably a lot of your frustration.
I like catch up.
Because even with my DK as my main, I'm still and I've kept up a little bit, but I'm not completely behind. I'm sitting at like a artifact knowledge of 73, which really, it's not bad for somebody who really hasn't been keeping up with it. But
it's probably overwhelming though, because you're used to being that guy that knows everything, and now you are that guy that's new. So that's probably a lot of frustration.
And I'm still learning new stuff. I'm still picking out little things that I haven't noticed. I found a quest the other day that I hadn't done on the Broken Hours. I'm going, how the hell did I miss this quest?
I would never stop playing WoW for the sheer fact that I would never want to be the new guy. I like knowing the things, and I hate not knowing stuff. So I don't like asking other people.
I could not imagine being a new player stepping into this game going, okay, I'm going to start from the beginning and do all the things. And,
it's overwhelming in Wrath. I could imagine doing it now with how different it is. Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff, guys. So what keeps you playing World of Warcraft every year? You might not play all year, but what keeps you playing every year?
Mostly, it's who was I telling? I think it was Rem. I was saying it's like a black hole; it just keeps sucking you back in. No matter how far you get out of the damn game, there's still somebody. I'm on with all all the websites and on Facebook with all the different groups, and I see somebody posting this, and you ought to check this out, or I found this little tidbit, and it's that not wanting to be completely out of the loop and lose track of the story that I fell in love with for what. Like I said, 8-9 years, and still looking at these storylines that I say is just awesome. And, now I still haven't gone through the previous raid, but I'm going through in Taurus now, and I'm still learning stuff. And I still think the stories are great, and as long as they keep producing stories and putting out them friggin' cinematics that keep sucking you back into, like that thing for Battle for Azeroth, I sat there and went, it almost made me choke up.
They do that on purpose.
100% choked up. Yeah.
Yeah, they do that on purpose.
And seeing them all laying there dead, and he's raising his hand and it was just awesome.
I was in tears. So I was in tears for. I'm always in tears. What's the difference, guys? I pretend I don't have feelings, but.
I'm kind of glad I wasn't at BlizzCon this year, because I don't know if I could have handled that in person as well as I did at home watching it on the TV.
It was pretty overwhelming. To be perfectly honest.
Like I couldn't wait for my kids to get home that day. I'm like, Bella, come here, you gotta watch this, and it
was a pretty big deal.
The storylines will always be there for me.
What would you like to see? What's one thing you would like to see in 2018 for World of Warcraft? It could be anything. It doesn't have to be story related. It could be, adding whisker do's or whisker don'ts, like whatever. It could just be something, the one thing you would like to see in World of Warcraft for 2018.
More tanks in PvP?
We already had that fucking problem this year. That's already on my list for the PvP year in review, where I talk about that. I'm not going to give that away because I am talking about that for the year in review, because that is part of my frustration. But yes,
I know how much you love it, and I saw Malou type it in there, and sorry about that. Was
tanks in PvP. Fuck.
What would I like to see? I guess what Rem had just said about the whole retcon with the Keeper Souls, less retconning, but still driving the story home.
Yeah, like good story arcs. Yeah.
Yeah, like the stories that we've gone through in Legion, I can't complain too much about them because they were good. You know, they were like, you got, to see, as you're going back and seeing Illidan and seeing his roots and what things were started with that and how they went back with some of that stuff. That was neat. I like to see them bring back scenarios, but with questing as you go through and do more of the questing. Like we had overwhelming scenarios in Pandaria. And I think it was too much. I think when they did it,
they're bringing them back to a certain degree. They're dynamic, ever-changing dynamic.
Right, like it was neat, like, beginning of Legion, as you went in and started attacking the Broken Shore, you went through a scenario to see what that was like. And I do like that, because once you can go through that, there's really no reason to go back to it. But, I mean, some of the questing, I would love to see them do more storylines in the scenario
format where you're kind of actively involved. Yeah.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Exactly.
That makes sense. I like how Rem said story arc, and me and Jim were like, "What's that mean?" Like, I looked at Jim to see if Jim knew, and then I realized he didn't either, and then I was like, "I don't really know what that means."
It sounds like story arc. It's just like the arc of the story, like you have story arc.
Like how the story's being driven, and
like you have the beginning, the end.
That's all right, Rem. I'm here with you.
We're
good. See, this is why whenever I was leaving, I said, you need to pick Rem up.
I just feel like I don't understand words. I would have called that like I didn't know it was called an arc.
You understand more than me, so that's a good
But I felt like I knew, but then I looked at Jim to see if he and then I realized there was not a hint of any understanding in what he said. So then I was like, okay,
those eyes.
It's not just me, so I don't feel too bad that it's, guys, I'm very smart, but some things are just over the head. Okay.
Now, the Caverns of Time stuff I did like, and I really wish they would bring more stuff back along with that, where you go back in time to see some of these different things like, Durnhold and stuff like that. We got to see back in, what was that, Burning Crusade. And I'm sorry, not Burning Crusade.
Little snippets of the future.
Right. That would be neat. Yeah, because when we went in there we did that with Dan of Cataclysm as well. Whenever we were hopping around.
Yeah.
But the vanilla servers, I am excited to see. I don't think I'll be spending a lot of time on her, but I would like to go back through and see some of the old stuff and how it was.
Spend 5 minutes on there just scoping stuff out, and then I'm going to miss all the comforts of home, because it's typically what happens when you think the grass is greener, and then you found out that you actually didn't like the fucking grass on the other side, and that's why you went to the other side to begin with, is because you didn't like the grass where...
Well, the reason the grass is greener is because it's turf. It's fake.
When you're walking everywhere and it takes you 12 hours just
in the snow every day. Yeah, like it's a struggle,
uphill, backwards.
Right.
All right.
Barefoot.
Jim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm just making sure you're paying attention.
How are you? I always am.
What is your best moment in World of Warcraft for 2017?
It's funny because I was like, best moment ever in Warcraft. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, she's talking this year. BlizzCon overall was great. There's a lot of good things in.
I feel like you're not allowed to say that because I feel like it's a lazy default.
That's an easy one, yeah.
I'm going to need you to. I'm going to need
one. Time out. I'll play along, but I don't have to because you're asking what my best moment is.
In World of Warcraft, not at BlizzCon.
Seeing the launch of the new trailer and where we're going, and I'm so hyped up.
Oh, I like how you saved that. I like that.
Hey, Jim.
Yeah.
Did you try any of the World of Warcraft while you were there? Did you get on like any of the computers?
So I never did, right?
I was trying to help you out there.
But we did. We went in as a crew. We did the new dungeon.
We did a
the dungeon.
I was forced. But I enjoyed. There was something going on outside, and I was like, you know what? We got to do this as a team. But yeah, I didn't mean to cop out as just like as BlizzCon as an experience, because you're right, that's not in game. But I just enjoyed myself so much, and then where we're going in the new expansion. But if you made me cancel that, you're like, yo, Jim, that's whack. Just where pet battles have gone, of course, the content. So much has been developed into pet battles and where we're going as far as content, so I could switch up and say that as well. So
get a 2 for 1. I like it.
Yeah, pet battle content was good too.
I like that. We'll go with that one. Now,
Yeah.
your worst moment in World of Warcraft.
I don't know if it, you and Lycan kind of were just discussing it. Like, there's lulls in gameplay, and I didn't want to like throw you under the
Like
bus. To
lulls,
say,
like LOL.
LOL, like no, like a lull, like in the game.
LULL.
Yeah, right. You
Like a lullaby.
Well, we've been playing the game for years, right? A lot of us haven't taken a break, or we haven't taken a break since Kata, right? Even though we don't always play every day, most of us have been active, right? So the sad part was maybe early, February, March, there was just a lull in the game. Even though the game wasn't in a bad place, it was just me and Warcraft. So just like that struggle of, where am I in the game, and in that dark moment of like, do I need a break, or am I faking it, or whatever, like how you said, when you're supposed to be engaged in your segments or whatever. But life, a lot of things happen in a year or 2 years as a podcast. So just that scary reality of like, do I need a break in game, which didn't happen, even though there was lulls, not funny lulls. But there's just the scariness of the lulls in the game, I think.
It is scary. It's scary for it's scary. Fuck off, my forehead was greasy. I
didn't know what the reference meant, right?
shit's shiny, guys. I have to keep on top of that, and I sweat during the show for some reason. So I have to,
It gets
anyway.
hot in here in the studio.
Obviously, he was making fun of me privately about me wiping the grease.
I was saying it was fine. I wasn't making fun of you. Shit.
Yeah, that was you making fun of me, basically. Guys, don't let him try to clean it up, okay? He tries to pretend like it's for my best interest, but it's really a lie. Yeah, that's scary. It's a very real factor, even for myself.
And it's not that the game, yourself, sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
It's a scary thing for myself because I have a lot at stake with multiple things that I'm like with method stuff and that kind of thing, like the guild. Like I have a lot at stake, so it's something that I am quite terrified of that moment ever happening. Luckily, it has not.
Something to lose. Yeah.
Well, and you have
Hasn't
the
happened
officers in the right place. I know, like when I was thinking of some of these questions, when I was thinking of my lifetime in WoW, like my last break in Canada broke my guild. We had 900 plus people. When you step away from if you don't have the right officers, or like if you took, which you can't really take a step away from game, like it hurts not just you, like so many people in the game and in your guild, right, Bill?
Yeah, you got people like Aja and I. You're just fucked.
Well, she could take a break, but she won't because she enjoys the game, and I know this isn't her.
Yeah, she's able to find
She's got the right team in place to help her if she needs those breaks. But more questions. We got more questions.
What keeps you playing every year?
I like the game. Right, when we were just talking about some of those lulls, even though it's lulls and struggling with life or whatever, like I really enjoy the game. I'm a boring gamer. I get asked by people in game, outside of in RL, people I know, what do you play? I play 2 games. I play Warcraft and another game. Very boring gamer. I just really enjoy Warcraft. Like it's the same type of scenario, but like I just really enjoy the game. I don't just do pet battles. Obviously, I enjoy PvP, raiding, even though I don't want to commit to a raid team where I'm playing 4 hours 2 nights a week or whatever. Like I enjoy those aspects of Warcraft still, and the community is huge. Like you see the community in different ways, in huge ways, whether it's the guild or when we're at BlizzCon and you see like the feels or whatever of everything that's going on. So like the community in the game is just great. There's no reason for me to go buy consoles and play other games for me because I'm content with where the games are at, or the game is at.
I agree 100%. What is one thing you would like to see in World of Warcraft for 2018?
Well, of course, the hype, like the expansion. I've never been this excited for expansion. When we were at BlizzCon, and part of the reason why I answered BlizzCon in general, like the announcement of the expansion and where we're going back to killing each other and fighting over our territories. Like you saw me totally jump the bandwagon and go, I'm Horde. And I'm Alliance. I struggle with being mostly Alliance now because my main is Alliance. And I just really like where the expansion's going. And I want Blizzard to continue to build off the pet battle success. I'm going to cover the year in review for Pet Battles. And I know Blizzard is prepared to continue all of that. Like the expansion might happen, or when it launches, we've got 3 Pet Battle dungeons to do right when the expansion launches, right? So just more continued success off the greatness of the 2017 in Pet Battles. But I also thought of like a couple episodes. This was a couple months ago where you said, "What do I want to see in Pet Battles?" And Rem brought up Pet Battle raids. Like, could you imagine if there was 3 or 4 of us that had to compete?
I feel like it wasn't him that brought up Pet Battle raids. In fact, I'm like 99% sure that it was me that brought up Pet Battle raids.
I thought it was you.
I thought it was Rem.
His point. Now I could be wrong. Now if it was you, I can retract and say, Belle, thank you. But
I'll have to go back and watch that because I'm pretty sure I felt like I said that. But
Now you're taking my ideas. That's
yeah, right.
listen, you have enough of your own, fucker. Can you share?
Guys, we're all a team, Belle. You've got a lot of great ideas. So does Rem. Whoever it was, the idea or to piggyback off that was such a great idea. In the other game that I play, you're having multiple people take down one raid boss, right? So I just and Blizzard takes great aspects of other games. So even though I kind of threw out a couple different answers there as far as like what I want,
I mean, they were good answers.
Yeah, thank you for that. The expansion is going to be hype in all aspects of whatever you enjoy in Warcraft, where Pet Battles is going, and then of course Belle and Rem's idea of Pet Battle raids would be crazy. I don't know if it's doable, but yeah, it's going to be a good year for Warcraft and Blizzard, I'm sure.
I agree. And with that, for the year in review, let's talk about pets and what happened this year in World of Warcraft regarding that, Jim.
Oh man, so like I had a lot of fun covering this. Like, what a year in Pet Battles. A lot of the listeners don't necessarily do Pet Battles. A lot of listeners are hardcore, right? I've actually had a few people reach out on things I could cover, and I'll cover them in the new year, which I greatly appreciate when Pet Battle lovers are feeling they're not getting a segment or some information that they prefer. So I really appreciate that to fellow guild members and people that reach out. So great year to come going forward. But what a great 2017. I was able to kind of go and just kind of go through the history. We kicked off the new year kind of January with a small patch, the 7.1.5. We got 2 new Pandaland time walking pets that you could purchase with time walking badges. We got Tyler Grondin from the Brawlers Guild, right? So that was a good little like mini patch. But the first big major patch we got was at the end of March. Patch 7.2 was a big update. It gave us Monk and Death Knight companion pets to collect, which actually look really cool and are really good for Pet Battles. We got 3. Yeah, right. Have you gotten your 3? I want to level up my DK to get those 3. You know, you got 3 of them, Lycan. Do you got them?
I don't think I have all 3 yet.
That's okay. I was very late to the game. I was embarrassed on how late I got my Monk mount and companion pet, but that patch was great for us as far as like our class pets. And then we also got the 3 new pet trainers on Broken Shore. And then we got our very first Pet Battle dungeon, right? We heard the announcement at BlizzCon. We were waiting. We knew it was coming in PTR, but that patch 7.2 brought us Wailing Critters. And that was the first kind of taste of what a Pet Battle dungeon is, right?
Yep.
Right after that monster patch, we got April, and the WarcraftPets.com was celebrating 10 years as a website. Like, what a crazy milestone. You know, the way they've been able to cover companion pets in the right way when there was no Pet Battles. And then, of course, when they became, you know, companion pets that we battle, you know, they did it the right way, and I wanted to kind of salute them with their milestone. And also, like, I go there for information all the time. It's the best Pet Battle website, and I was able to kind of go month by month through their articles and kind of help put together the segment. So again, salute to them. Shout out to everybody. They've got a huge team, you know, that do all the different articles or make sure that we're able to even see our, you know, track our collection, see where we rank on our websites. Great website. They also were able to, you know, they've trolled us for years with April Fool's jokes. So that was right on par with their 10-year anniversary. They actually had a poll, the April Fool retrospective, where you got to vote on your favorite troll, and they listed all of their April Fool's jokes famously, I've actually been trolled not knowing it was April Fool's, famously with the summon more than one companion pet. The graphics would be like like a little bit dulled down. Like the fact that I bought into that a little bit, but I remember being told I was able to summon more than one. And then of course pet battle or pet breeding was, there's a whole list of them. I'll put it in the comments for the YouTube channel, just because the article kind of shows down the breakdown. Some of them are obvious, but Jimma definitely got fooled. So salute to everyone on that team, because they do a lot of great work, obviously. Now fast forward to June, patch 7.2.5 was another step in the right direction for pet battles. We got our second pet battle dungeon, the Dead Mines, which I personally thought was a lot more fun and flowed better. I don't know if that's do you agree?
Yeah.
I didn't want to sound like a hater or like, we're getting this content, but I was a little at the moment somewhat disappointed in Wayland Caverns.
And there's better rewards too with the coin things.
Well, and I'm wondering I put that right under it. Like, is it because we've got 4 companion pets to get from it and we're getting more out of it? Or was it just, did it actually flow better as a pet battle dungeon with it being the second one? Either way, it's not the last pet battle dungeon. We're going to get a lot more, and a lot of great content is to come. So we got those 4 new pets and the second pet battle dungeon. We got 2 new dragon pets from the Death of Chromie scenario, right? Very cool dragonkin pets. And then we got rogue new companion pets, the Dig Rat and the Sneaky Marmot, which I appreciated it being able to be caged, because I don't want to level up a rogue, and I'm not until probably some of these sub races. But I definitely purchased the Dig Rat and the Sneaky Marmot. I believe both of them. I have at least one of the 2 for sure. And then also the excitement of the Sun Darter Hatchling Mystery. So we got this cool pet. Not only was it visually awesome, I mean, it was a reskin, but it was visually awesome, but we didn't really know how to get it. And of course the community came together and broke it down, and it's just a really cool companion pet, the Sun Darter Hatchling. So that was a huge patch. I almost said the hugest. Actually, I did write the biggest patch.
The hugest.
Well, yeah, right. Very huge. But I also kind of took that back and said maybe it was a cool patch, because
is that a word?
Huge.
It is now.
It's huge. It's huge.
It's gonna be huge.
Vodka pineapple juice for who asked in chat. I didn't actually write.
Sorry, go ahead.
The cold meds are kicking in. This is my week for cold meds and liquor. But even though it wasn't the hugest, it was an awesome patch. But then 7.3 dropped in August. That's a long time in between. August 29th gave us 42 new companion pets. A lot, you got 12 new wild pets that we were able to catch in August, and the new rating with Leash's 5 achievement, Cuticalism. Very cool for collectors, and a variety of other pets to earn in a few different ways. We got a new trainer, Environeer Bert, that, you were able to get a new companion pet in the satchel. Right? Yeah, you remember. It's all coming back, right? It was very fun to review the year for me, anyways. And Blizzard, so 42 pets in that patch, huge patch, August 29th. Blizzard and the Warcraft community came together in September through very rough times through the world. I know a lot of people will buy the pets anyway, but they'll also potentially give out a little extra money when they know it's going to a great cause. So from September 12th to December 31st, all the proceeds for the Shadow Companion pet went to disaster relief, or they were donated 100% to American Red Cross Disaster Relief and the International Federation of Red Cross and Red Crescent Societies. Ooh, that's a lot. And Disaster Relief Fund. Yes, Remedies.
I'm going to cut you off for a second. I was actually going to announce that during the show, because that's something that I was adamant about. Because whenever they do a pet like that, I'm always like, just buy the pet. It goes towards a good cause. And the last day is in 3 days, so...
I was actually going to announce it because we already talked about it, but... Announce
what, the Shadow?
No, the fact that it ends for the proceeds.
Yeah.
Like, you can still get it after,
it took me a moment to catch up. We're still going with all those donations, right? So
I've been still waiting for Jimmy to buy mine, but
I've been waiting a long time. I realized when I wrote that the one companion pet I skipped was, I think they're still on sale. I wasn't really too keen on giving Blizzard any
Whoa, that's a big word.
money, right? As far as, because we give them so much, right? But I think I got Twilight to still purchase. But yeah, great. The community comes together great for a variety of reasons, and that's just an example of why. And then we had November. Jimmo was crushed. He still maintained his professionalism. He's on a podcast. He's a co-host. But he wasn't destroyed. Blizzard chose to not give us a companion pet for our virtual. It's okay. At first I was initially frustrated, but we got mounts. There's a lot of mount collectors, 2 really cool mounts, but hopefully we get a new Murloc pet next BlizzCon. But that kind of capped up. I know that was kind of fast and long for others to kind of break down the year in review for pet battles, but we got so many new companion pets. We got so many new achievements. I actually somehow skipped the Family Fighter achievement that's in there somewhere. I don't know when it became. I'll be covering that in the new year. And that's kind of just like a throwback to me wanting something difficult in the pet battle world, like the Celestial Tournament. The Family Fighter achievement on Argus is difficult. And again, I appreciate you reaching out, Eeg. It was Eeg who told me about or wanted to know why I didn't cover that the right way, and I will in the new year, so I appreciate that. And we should have a good year going forward in pet battles, and I thank you for your time.
That was amazing. That was very thorough.
Thorough?
Remind us to have you attach your pop filter to your mic, because the heavy breathing when you say things like "puh" and "tuh" is real.
Is that happening?
Yeah.
Why didn't you guys cut me off?
Because I didn't. I mean, sometimes it's like a train wreck. You just gotta let it happen.
Just let it happen. Cheers.
You can't really stop it, but you can see it happening, but you can't really stop it.
No, you guys could have stopped that. You just chose not to.
I was just letting it go, just doing my thing.
It doesn't hurt as bad if you just let it happen.
Right. So I'm gonna get my year in review out of the way first, because I have 2 guys for the lore, and Rem's already long-winded when he gets on his tangents, and Lycan is equally long-winded. So, versus everybody clicking off the show.
What are you trying to say?
And not listening. I'm just kidding, guys. That was funny.
You get my stuff anyway. Huh.
That was a funny. Actually, mine is not super long, so I know, right? Bell's not long-winded.
All right.
Obviously, we're not.
I heard it was long.
Obviously, we're not doing weeks in WoW either. I'm pretty sure people probably figured out.
That's news to me.
I'm pretty sure you're gonna get the fuck over it, okay? Because you.
I think it's okay not to do a week when we're doing a year. So yeah.
Right. Right. I hate you. Just kidding. I love you. So let's talk about my.
Oh, do you want us to ask you the questions?
No, I don't want you to ask me the question.
What is your best moment in WoW, Belle?
I'm going to mute you right now. So my best moment in World of Warcraft was this year, meaning, because, we have to make sure we know it's for this year. My best moment was Suramar, actually. It's not really a moment so much as a place, but everything and anything that had to do with Suramar City in general, the questing, the dungeons, just everything in general was literally the highlight of my World of Warcraft, really life, honestly. I know that's really sad to say that, but it was the best moments, really, because there are several of them connected. But honestly, Suramar, being able to go in there live after beta testing and all of that stuff, that was really my best moment.
Can I ask you a side question to that?
I don't know. Do you have to say before you ask me the side question?
So
I'm gonna do it too.
No, so because of the hub that's being added for the Nightfallen and the Nightborn, what do you think you're gonna do for BFA? Are you gonna Are you gonna hang out in Cool Terrace, or are you gonna try and hang out in Suramar?
I'm gonna be really honest with you. I am so excited for that part of
Cool Terrace, because that would be Horde. You're gonna hang out.
I'm excited for that part of Nighthold to be uninstanced. I'm really excited, and it's on instance for both factions, so I could go there on Bell, which would be optimal, even though I don't really RP, but I feel like it means more when I kind of experience that kind of thing on Bell, so I'm excited that I can go. Well, we don't really know, but according to what we've seen both Horde and Alliance in some of their screenshots, so hopefully it's a tough one because it's like they're going to give us all this new stuff to play with, but then they're going to make part of my dream come true, which is to make, part of Suramar City uninstanced. I don't know how deep that's going to go. If they make the whole city uninstanced, fuck it. I'm never leaving Suramar. Like, I'm just going to live there forever because I'm going to shack up in one of those little houses and relocate. But yeah, I plan on spending a good portion of my downtime, so my AFK time, I guess, which is when I'm doing random show notes or when I'm doing whatever random shit I'm doing on the internet, and I just kind of AFK in a city.
Just gonna have like the atmosphere around you.
Yeah, I'm freaking so stoked about that, guys. That just freaking made my millennium. The worst. What?
See, Rem, I can do this without getting in trouble. So, Belle, what is your worst moment this year? I'm taking over the hosting. Go ahead.
So he asked me a question and then he's like, I felt like that was really good for my soul. My worst moment in World of Warcraft was realizing that I was going to have to let down myself and the show and not PvP in order to be able to maintain that segment. I can't really talk about that kind of stuff, and it doesn't make sense for me to have a PvP segment if I'm not actively PvPing. That was probably the worst moment, is not like a gut-wrenching feeling of not knowing how I was going to move forward in game, where I had to swap my focus from PvP to PvE. That feeling is a pretty bad feeling, to be perfectly honest. I never ever want to feel that again. But the good news is I've already been there, right? I've already felt that feeling, so it really can't get any worse from that point. Really, I hope.
I mean, it's never a good thing to say. It can get worse. So.
I mean, it always can.
Don't jinx it.
It always can. Now, what keeps me playing every year? That's pretty obvious.
She's doing my job.
Yeah, no, I'm making sure nobody has it in here because I feel like you guys are secretly messaging and Jim is going to hop in here with one of these questions. Because I know you guys, so I'm just going to keep going. Obviously, everybody knows what keeps me playing because we've talked about it multiple times. And it's not even just really the podcast or method or the show or the guild. It's just the people, the connection that I have to this game. It's like all consuming. I can't imagine not knowing the latest news. I can't imagine not diving into PTR so that I know things in advance so that I can help people. I can't imagine. I try to think about what's going to happen when I'm like 80 and I can't podcast anymore. Or maybe in a year this podcast is irrelevant and nobody listens to us and we don't matter. It's really difficult for me to think about that moment. Because it's going to happen eventually. I'm sure there's going to come a moment where that's a thing. But hopefully I got a good 10 years before I'm senile.
Honestly, I don't see that happening. Someone's always going to ask or look for someone else's opinion on something.
Yeah, that's true.
And you always have an opinion about something. So
now I see why she invited me on the show. She just felt old and she needed somebody to feel older than her. So, what would you like to see in 2018 for World of Warcraft?
Let's see. So it'd have to be the one thing because there's like 20. In World of Warcraft, I would like to see proof that Blizzard is... I would like to see proof that Blizzard understands its PvP community. And the proof of that would be in the gameplay when it comes to PvP. That's all I want, honestly. That's the only thing I want to see in 2018. BFA, I already know is going to exceed my expectations because Legion did. And even like back when Lycan was on and we talked about the end of Warlords of Draenor and how difficult it was for some cast members to like stay involved and that kind of thing. And we kept saying like, Legion, guys, Legion, I promise you Legion is going to make it happen. And I felt good because we were... we weren't made wrong, and I really love that they did that. And I know BFA is what we need. We need that Horde and Alliance. So I'm not really worried about the expansion and where it's going to take us. So I don't need to, list a bunch of things that I want there. I want to see proof in-game that Blizzard is back on the same wavelength as the PvP community, because they are not currently right now. That's what I want to see in 2018.
And along with that, though, I like we even said this at the end of Warlords. Legion was not going to be PvP oriented.
Mm-hmm.
They were going to try a bunch of new things. The whole prestige level they tried. Tanks and PvP. I'm still all about these. But they were going to try a bunch of new stuff, but we needed that lull. We needed that downtime of the fighting of the factions. And I think they learned a lot out of Legion. And I think looking forward, they're going to take what they tried new, and they did implement a lot of new things this year, this expansion. And I'm, as somebody who casually PvPs, I'm still working my way through the prestige levels and things. Yeah, there were some disappointments, but I don't think it was a complete waste. But I think what they're going to be able to take back from what they've learned in Legion and apply that to what they know works. And hopefully they'll go back to more of what they know works and bring some of the new stuff they have, that they've implemented that people actually like and enjoy.
I agree.
Yeah, there's definitely been the good, the bad, and the ugly for the PvP. So,
let's talk about that. That's a great segue for the PvP year in review. So some of this stuff is just, I don't really have a ton because there isn't a whole lot going on for PvP, but I did just kind of want to take you guys on a little time tour of the things that we have been through this expansion in regards to PvP. So let's start with the WoW Arena tournaments. That was a pretty big deal. We had a lot of new faces. We had a lot of change-ups when it came to teams. Lots of player drama, guys. We had people swapping teams, and we might have stolen Triforce from Temple Storm. I don't really know. Did we? I don't know. What team are they on? I don't remember who they were on before because they're...
Splice.
Yeah, Splice. There is no life, after... Once you're on Method, there's nothing else beyond that. But we might have stolen some things. We attempted to steal another team. That didn't really work out. I'm not going to tell you guys about that because it's not really any of your guys' business. But
it wasn't.
That's what we do. And I'm not saying that Method's smart for that, but they're pretty fucking smart. You got to snatch up those guys while they're fucking getting it and make it happen. But we seen Rub Cub and his whole year of drama where he was booted off one team because disagreements, and then got on another team, and that team completely dissolved. And then he, made it all the way to BlizzCon last year. The road to BlizzCon was very, emotional, right? It was full of a lot of ups and downs. We felt like those of us who are obsessed with certain teams felt like there was going to be an end game there that was going to be positive, and then the road to BlizzCon ended with tears and a meltdown at the end, sadly, because my teams did not win. But what a great year that we had visually and competitively when it comes to that kind of thing. Now, there was a lot of very public drama amongst these teams that hate each other. What's his face? I can't think of his name off the top of my head. It could be the alcohol. I'm not 100% sure. Everybody hates him.
Sea-Doo?
No.
Kidding.
Shit. I can't think
Do you
of his
remember
name.
the team?
Yeah, he's part of a team. He's on Temple Storm. Well, not anymore because I don't think Temple's competing.
Jamili?
Yeah, Jamili. Thank you, the mage. So I was struggling a little bit because I was like, I can't think of his name. He had a lot of public drama with a lot of people, but he also had a lot of public drama with World of Warcraft where he basically blamed all of his losses on WoW, which, I'm not going to say he's not right because there's a lot wrong, but...
He had good points.
He really did. There was good points, but he basically blamed all of his losses on World of Warcraft, as did other players who didn't lose as gracefully, also blamed World of Warcraft. But, you still competed, and you won pre-tournaments, so you won ladders. You did very well in other elements and aspects. It's kind of weird that you... if you keep coughing during my segment...
I'm choking.
I'm going to punch you in the face. I feel like you're doing it on purpose.
Shit. Never mind.
You are doing it on purpose.
You did really good in the pre-tournaments and everything, like that, but when you come to the tournaments, and then I went, I'm choking.
Oh, I didn't get it. It went over my head. I told you I'm really smart, but sometimes it goes over.
You were helping her.
No, it's because, listen, you both troll, and you both pretend like you don't troll, and then when I figure it the fuck out that you guys are trolling, then it makes me look crazy and like I'm lunatic because you guys...
For that.
I'm
on board with you,
Belle. Yeah, he makes you look like you're insane, right? And then
He'll start yelling to his wife on the phone. Emma wrecked his marriage. I don't want to throw you off, but Lycan is worse than Rem, and Rem's bad.
he really is. I feel like they're like father and son assholes. Yeah, I feel like they just kind of used a lot of that as an excuse because you won up until that point. It just seemed to be like Lycan was making the point home about the choking. That was 100% correct. The player drama was my favorite, though. I really like the player drama because it's real. And although I don't think those kind of things should be done publicly, Maldiva had an issue with Mez on his team. They were fighting over practice. I'm assuming it was probably Maldiva who didn't want to practice and probably Mez who wanted to practice because I know how particular Mez is about their practices. That was kind of funny to watch. And then Daddy Sea-Doo came in and was like, you guys need me to moderate. Let's get on a call together. And he was like, I'm totally going to handle that, which, by the by, congratulations to Sea-Doo and his wife, Cassie. They are expecting. I believe she is due. I don't remember what day she's due, but... they are expecting a bundle of joy after a rough previous.
Yeah, that was kind of.
It's a good happy ending. They waited until she was farther along before they spoke on it publicly, which is good. Now let's talk about this year, what we've been given in PvP and what we've dealt with, and we'll start at the very beginning. I had very, very high hopes for PvP because I don't think I understood the weight of what the decisions were. I was really excited about the gear not really mattering, but then I realized that was a core piece of what made us PvPers, and we kind of need that. Can I please have my fucking Conquest vendor back? Please, I'm begging you, can I have my vendor back? Originally, I had a very, like I take on everything. Sometimes I'm internally scared, but publicly, we're going to roll with the punches and see if the changes are good. We've learned this year in PvP that not all changes are good. RNG as the sole means of gearing does not belong in PvP whatsoever. So we need our vendors back, and we need that back. But that's how we gear right now. For those of you who don't PvP, you are at the mercy of whatever piece you may or may not get while you're doing certain PvP things. People in PvE gear could potentially slaughter you if their stuff is better. What?
So on that note, part of the problem though with that too is because you have people like Mez and the top people that are actually having to push mythic pluses to actually even get the gear.
To get gear to be comparable to other players that have it. I completely agree. I don't think, here's the thing. We don't let PvPers running on raids with top gear and allow that. Like,
that was actually a problem. A couple expansions ago, they were able to get pretty good.
We need to not allow that. And then we have prestige. So in the beginning, once again, guys, Bell, ever the voice of positivity and, prepping my people for the expansion. I was really excited about this prestige thing because I thought this kind of makes things a little bit interesting, right? In the beginning, if you prestige, you lost your talents and you had to build back up to that. To me, I dig the vibe, guys. Like, that's making me work for my money. And I have to decide, do I want the prestige or do I just want to go without it, right? So then we did the dumbest fucking thing I could ever think of in life. We said, oh, just kidding. You don't have to lose your talents anymore to prestige. Why the fuck is it there then? What is the point? Why are you leaving the system in here? What's the purpose?
E-peens.
Or like a paragon of sorts, right? I had to kind of think about it that way. Like, now we have the paragon reputation. So it's basically the same system. It's basically the paragon system where you can continuously put into it to get rewards. And yes, E-peens, like big, giant, cool. You got a fucking banner on your back. Cool, you're so cool, guy. I can't wait to do all of the PvP world quests and get fucking prestige gajillion and be so cool because you barely had to break a sweat. So they took a really potentially pretty cool thing. Then people complained that it takes too much honor to level. Too much honor. Can you nerf the honor? What did we do? We pandered again. This mid-year, we pandered and we dropped the honor. Once again, what's the point of prestiging here? Why are you even keeping it in the game? You should have just set it on fire, and whatever server houses that information, you should have just lit it on fire or chucked it out the fucking window because it doesn't make sense to me.
You're kind of heavy. You can't really chuck it out the window.
But they could have done so many good things with that.
But they didn't.
Like, you got your standard talents at 50, and then like throw little things in after that. People would have been fighting over world quests.
Oh no, actually, yeah. If you prestige to a certain level, maybe it alters something like that.
Right.
Maybe you get
PvP'd
access
more
to
without
something.
the
I mean,
rewards.
well,
So-
right. And maybe you got access to something or whatever, but they missed a huge opportunity for people that are interested in that type of thing. Since you already have the system implemented, they missed a huge opportunity to do something. And Blizzard's take on things is when they can't fix it or they don't know how, they nerf it to the fucking ground. That's what they did with Ashran. They didn't know how to fix Ashran, so instead they just nerfed it to the ground and then made it obsolete the next expansion. I am really hoping that this whole system is obsolete next expansion, and I'm really hoping that somebody at Blizzard is listening and has been listening to the last month and has been watching the forums, because that's next on our year in review for PvP. We started to see the pros. When I say pros, I'm talking about all your very well-known streamers. We started to see them posting on forums, posting videos, and I'm not talking about like your videos where they're trashing Blizzard, or like the year before, like the end of Warlords of Draenor, a couple of the streamers I didn't like previously were just being asinine on Twitter. They were being asinine to the little guy player. But this year, really the better part of the last couple of months, I've seen some very large people that are involved with Blizzard that have a lot at stake for kind of speaking against them, have made very valid arguments on the forums, on their stream. They have lobbied for change, and the change that I'm seeing has not been from a high-level perspective. I have seen them lobbying from both high-level and the little guy, which in Warlords of Draenor, it was just like the very end of it, it was just the high-level people. They didn't give a shit about the little guys. But I've watched very big people, and I'm going to say Venruki again because that was a huge moment for me, because obviously I'm obsessed with Venruki.
Obviously.
But to see somebody who's a caster for them, who openly took the time to articulate everything I felt in one post, it was like a beautiful thing. We started seeing more and more where these guys were getting comfortable kind of not speaking against Blizzard, but just lobbying for change. And that was a huge moment in 2017 because a lot of people kissed Blizzard's ass, especially these influencers. I guess that's what they're called, influencers. They don't influence me to do shit, but whatever. I mean,
Warcraft Jen, hello?
like I
Influences
love her
everybody.
so much. We'll talk about that later. Anyway. So seeing these major PvP guys lobbying for that change was really great. Another thing that happened is Holinka moved into something new. We don't really know what that new is, but he's there with Tom Chilton, like a bunch of people they absorbed from World of Warcraft and took them somewhere else.
Warcraft
I do
4.
believe
Kidding.
Rem clapped, and I do agree. I think we needed some fresh blood, and I think it's going to be nice to see what these new guys do and, you know, what's going to happen here. I think Holinka had... Sometimes when you've been doing this for so long, you have a different pair of eyes, and I think that we needed a fresh perspective, and we need somebody who can get back to what the community is about. So the racial changes that happened, those racial changes, breaking down that barrier where humans, every man for themselves, basically got nerfed to the fucking ground. It's basically useless. I use it like every now and then, but it's useless. Needed a nerf, not bitching about that.
Yeah.
However, one of the things that I think a lot of people didn't realize that this caused is some of this racial situation. I lost a lot of my PvP friends because they swapped Horde, because there was no reason for them to be Alliance anymore. That was frustrating for me. It hurt my feelings a little bit. It was a struggle.
To put something in there, it did the exact opposite of what they wanted, because what was it? Warlords, everybody had to be human just for the extra trinket. And then as soon as that went away, it did the exact opposite for what they wanted to do, which was add diversity. Well, now it's all Horde.
Yeah, there was no
Yeah,
balance.
you're right.
Now people were free to go, and some of the Horde racials are still pretty awesome. Now people
Yeah, the
were,
racials for Horde, yeah. It's
Horde?
people were free to do that. A good
More
portion, when I say good portion, a handful of the guys that I PvP'd with, including part of my RBG team, went Horde. That was tough. That was a tough pill to swallow. I'm still a little bitter. I'm still a little angry at Blizzard for that, because, I mean, I think I talked about this previously, my struggles and my frustrations with just trying to even stay playing WoW, and had to change my focus to PvE. Those racial changes, it was huge. It was a huge thing. And I think it was an exciting moment for some, and it was a devastating moment for others who lost their friends, basically. Because I'm not fucking playing Horde, guys. I'm not going to PvP Horde side. That is not my get down. It's not what makes me happy, and I shouldn't have to because all of my friends switched.
all it would have took was a racial balance. I called that
Right.
they should have made. I remember I got frowned on. I know this is your segment, Bell, but I said early in my Pwnecast days they should give everyone that type of kind of trinket where you get the extra get out of stun, and then when they shifted it and everyone went to Horde, all they needed to do was somewhat balance the
Just a balance
alliance
in between.
because it shouldn't be so lopsided. Previous expansions for alliance and so hard this expansion for Horde.
I agree. Yeah, they did attempt to fix an off balance there, but I think they missed their mark. I really do think they missed their mark. They should have made it where that was equal both sides, and whatever.
Just a slight tweak, nothing crazy.
Yeah, they didn't do that, and so with all of these, that's been the bulk of what's happened for the year in PvP. What ties into my year is what once was a majority PvPer where I raided with the guild just through each tier, previous expansion just to do it. PvP was my main focus. I got on, I did everything I needed to do. I did my reset stuff when conquest grind. PvP was basically pretty much what I lived for, and the RBGs was I stopped streaming, guys. Like, the weight of the PvP changes that happened in 2017 affected pretty much everything. I quit streaming because that was what I loved to stream, and nobody wants to watch Belle run around like a fucking moron trying to complete world quests. And
There's a few that would.
Like, nobody, that's kind of stuff. Nobody wants to watch Belle fucking wipe in raids because she's a mediocre raider because she's not built for PvE. Like, that effect caused catastrophic. Like, I gave up on a lot of things for a really long time, and I actually had to pull myself out of it, which a lot of you guys don't know that I went through that struggle, but I had to make myself play WoW. A lot of people don't know that either, but 2017 was not great for PvP, and it was not great for Belle's emotional stability when it comes to me trying to change the things that I loved about World of Warcraft, and I had to swap my focus to PvE, which I don't particularly care for raiding and stuff like that. So for 2007 overall, I don't have a lot of good stuff to say for PvP in general. I like that Destro still hurts. I don't have a lot of good things to say. The only thing that I can say is Seething Shore, which is technically going to be in 2018. But I think they're on the right track there, hopefully with some tweaks. But yeah, that's pretty much the year in review for PvP. It's not good, guys. And I almost didn't want to do this portion because I thought I try to not be negative anymore like I used to be. I try to be super positive, but I don't have a lot of good things to say about PvP currently. The only good thing is the addition of the PvP brawls. That's it. That was a good thing. That was smart. Yeah. It was good. Not all of them are great, but the shaking it up, I think they're
overall big plus. Yeah.
Oh, I think we talked about that. I feel like they're using it as a testing ground for future tournaments. I do feel like they're using the brawls as a testing ground for mid-year tournaments, like outside of BlizzCon. I do feel like we're supposed to be getting an esports announcement. We were supposed to get it before the holidays, but they didn't. So when we get this esports announcement, it's supposed to be pretty huge, but I'm interested to see what their focus is going to be. Because as long as they're focusing on esports, they have to continue to care about PvP, I hope. Yeah, so there's
no way around it.
That is my PvP year in review.
Yeah.
Let's.
All right, good show, guys.
Whoa, let's talk about Rem. You did not get away. What is your best moment in World of Warcraft?
So I was originally going to go with the stereotypical one and say something about the story, but it's actually about the guild and how active it's been throughout this whole year. We've had a little bit of drama, but the best part was consistently raiding and clearing content with the raid team, plus just how active the guild has been. We've gotten new members still to this day throughout this year, and it's just awesome feeling.
The raid team is the worst part. I'm just kidding. I don't like raiding, so. I'm just kidding. I'm joking, guys. I'm just joking. I'm going to get 20 messages from raiders tomorrow. They're like, fuck you. I don't like raiding, so. What was your worst moment in World of Warcraft for 2017?
Carry over a little tiny bit of 2016 was just farming for legendaries that never came. To this day, I still don't have the one that everyone hates, Sephuse's Secret. That's the best one one of the best for Shadow Priest, for instance, and I still don't have it.
It's okay.
And
I
I've
don't
been
have the
farming
Netherlord one
legendaries.
either.
Yeah,
I feel
but
you.
yeah, no, just farming for legendaries. It never came. Yeah.
What keeps you playing at World of Warcraft every year?
The main one being community, all the people that I meet and play with, not even just the guild, like Bell, Jim Banks, like in the people that you meet and play the game with. For instance, most of my hiatuses during the last part of Kata and parts of Mr. Pandari were because either the guild fell apart or other people left the game for like jobs or anything like that, or real life. And that's usually where my hiatuses come, is because there's no one else to really play with.
You're right. You're right.
Like, I'll still clear the content, but in terms of like
It's not as fun for everyday stuff.
day to day, yeah.
That touches home for me. But go ahead, continue.
He's been having several shots. By the time we're done with this, by the time you two are done with your year in WoW for the Lauren story, he's gonna be fucking on the floor.
I'm buzzed, but just like that, if you don't have the people to play with, the game is...
It's pretty boring. I agree. Rem, what's one thing you would like to see in 2018? It doesn't have to be, lore related, but what would you like to see in World of Warcraft, or for World of Warcraft, or with, or on, or about, whatever?
Okay, mine will be a two-parter because my original one that I was...
Of course it's a two-parter because you don't know how to say anything in one sentence.
No. But so the main part was going to be the story arc. Having the stories and the storylines being meaningful next year, not just having them be cool or, oh, hey, here's this thing that we're going to bring back or something other. Make meaningful stories that we will impact the world with. And yeah, so the two-parter is impacting the world is what I also want for Warfronts and BFA, is because we're going to be going to Arathi Highlands and taking back the city. So what I want is Warfronts to affect the world around us, or maybe do like some testing with that and see if we can change the world, make it more, make it more evolving the land around us, not like a Cataclysm revamp, more like a better version of it, like making it change the landscape in terms of buildings, something that just changes, like add variety to the world, not just going to different worlds, because I mean we have that possibility now with Argus, the Vindicar, we have all these possibilities. I just want them to flesh out Azeroth more. There's still a lot more that we can... There's still a lot of stuff that we don't know, like Oldemon, where they can go back and actually dig down deeper into
excavate the rest of it, yeah.
Yeah, Grim Patrol, they can retake that. There's a lot of stuff that they can do and flesh out Azeroth.
I feel like I would like to be able to hotwire the Vindicar. Do you think that'll be a possibility in the future? Because
no, because this is not a sandbox.
Got it.
Sorry.
So no hotwiring of the Vindicar and taking it to parts unknown. Yeah, that was actually probably... That was like the best answer ever. Like, I feel like he outdid us a little bit, Jim. Interesting. I mean, you did really great yourself. I got the shit end of the stick because I got the crap that was the shit year for my specific niche of content.
I think you just said, yeah, I'm happy with PvP in general. But Rem is the golden child. Like, let's...
Not the golden.
Tell us more, Rem.
The jacket is brown, not gold.
Wow. Okay, moving on. So with that being said, let's talk about the lore in the story from 2017 in review. And I'm just going to let you two have like whatever weird shit lore people do when they get together.
For the lore was good.
It was good.
So, I'm not gonna lie, mine's not thorough like Jim.
It's okay. It doesn't need to be super thorough. Just I'm
not gonna be like, so this story arc came out March 15th.
Saying the word arc.
Sorry, this storyline.
Patches. Okay, I had to discuss
this storyline.
Remedies. As long as we keep saying story arc and retcon, she'll zone out and leave us alone.
I muted because my dogs are doing weird shit, but yeah, it's pretty true.
But some of the biggest things was at the beginning of the year. At the very last part of 2016, we did Insurrection and Suramar, your favorite part. Hashtag apparently fan favorite. But we went through Suramar. We helped the Nightborn, all that good stuff, and we came up on Nighthold at the very beginning of this year. And that was a whole new story because we knew about Suramar and we knew about it being part of the city of Sinzari, not Sinzari, Ashara, all that good stuff. So what was your thoughts like on Nighthold and what we learned on Suramar? Because like I said, it's sort of a new idea, but we had a tie-in with Gul'dan coming through, actually finally being able to kill him ourselves instead of finding his corpse.
Well, technically didn't even get to kill Mir either because, Illidan stole our thunder on that one as well.
He definitely kill stealed, yeah.
He pulled a thrall and waited till the very last second to jump in and take all the glory. Nighthold was okay. I'm not a fan of Suramar. However, I did like the lore.
The lore, yeah. I don't know who that is. Bell might kill me, but the architecture is cool, but I don't really care about the city itself.
No.
But
that's
the
because
story...
you're a fucking sadist, that's why. Only
Illusion,
sadists
what
hate
are you
Suramar.
But
Only sadists hate Suramar.
Redcon,
Anyway.
story arc, Redcon.
If I dislike it, I'm not a savior.
No, it was neat though. I mean, because throughout the books though, we've always heard stories of Suramar and stories of it being separated out and untouched for all these years, and it was nice to go back and see it. I didn't like. I mean, the boss fights in there were interesting. The visuals were definitely neat. Story-wise, though, I mean, it was okay. I think only because it was like, what is that, the third boss in with the food fight thing? It just reminded me of, I couldn't get Karazhan out of my head.
Yeah, that very reminded me of Karazhan because it was like, oh, the master's head, blah, blah, blah. It's like,
right.
Oh, okay.
But I did like it. I did like the fact that we got to see, these untouched elves that, that weren't corrupted by the Sunwell and that didn't shoot off, but it was neat to go in. I mean, seeing them, how they were affected by the Nightwell, though, and throwing that fauna power.
Yeah, that tie-in with Eye of El-Manthul was very interesting, yeah.
Right. But as for that, I mean, like I said, I still can't go into that. I won't do any world quest in Suramar at all. I just don't like the zone. And I always had this argument with Bell, but I didn't like the layout. I didn't like the way it was put together. It was pretty. That was just about it. It was pretty.
Yeah, it was pretty. It's pretty. So the story of Nighthold is it's pretty, but
that's
so one of the
two people's interpretations of a very beautiful
Belle,
land.
please don't interrupt.
Listen, I've become a very paranoid person because of that place. How many times I've been asked what I'm friggin' hiding? I've become a very paranoid person.
I'm not caring, I swear. Fuck. But one of the biggest things was the Broken Shore, and we've been to Broken Shore before in the story, and we've known stories of it. But to see it firsthand, and we saw callbacks to Warcraft 3 where you could find Drakthul still in his little hamlet, and you can find the skull, the remains of Gul'dan in the raid of Tumor Sargeras. That was really cool homage. But whatchamacallit, one of the best parts, top 5 for Broken Shore was Gul'dan is sitting in front of the tomb, and he spawns all these demons, and you see iconic names pop up, and you see people that you've already killed, which we know that they'd come back. But it's just really cool to see, like, my hashtag fan favorite, Lord Jaraxxus. You see Manaroth, and you have the Horde version. Huh?
I want to say, what, Tichondrius, wasn't he in there? Or
yeah, Tichondrius and Mal'Ganis was in there. That was interesting, and I wish that they talked about Mal'Ganis, because Mal'Ganis was a big thing with Arthas and him falling to becoming the Lich King.
Yeah.
So, but see all these iconic names, and the Horde one was different as well. I don't remember the names on there, but they had a lot of different pet lords and stuff like that. But what were some of the names that you saw pop up in that cinematic that was just like, that's badass?
Like I said, Tichondrius was my big thing, because we've heard so many things about him in the stories and the books, and to actually see him, and then like you said, Mal'Ganis. Mal'Ganis was huge for the Lich King.
Oh yeah,
and even with
Mal'Ganis was a pit lord, yes.
Yeah.
Dreadlord. Nathrezim. Yeah.
Is there
retconned.
not a pit lord that begins
Story
with
arc.
M?
The story arc was retcon, so
no. He's a Nathrezim, so Nathrezim are a total different breed of inhabitants that were corrupted and changed, and they're the ones that actually did the corruption of Sargeras, and we talked about this once
or twice.
She's zoning us out now. But no, I mean, going back and to even like some of the ones we've met several times, like the Houndmaster, we met twice in here. We met him the Vindikar. We met him there.
Mm-hmm.
And then we had to go ahead and fight him again on Argus. It was a rare spawn, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't he?
I believe so.
Yeah. So I mean, but now that we're taking all these out, it's finally nice to see some of these actually put to rest, though.
100%.
Mal'Ganis. Yeah, we fought him. We've seen him in game before, but now he's gone. Once you take them out on Argus, they're gone. Since it's so connected to the Nether.
Yeah.
Didn't we blow up like a prime Naru? Well, when I say we, I mean Illidan. Didn't he blow up like?
Well, that's later in the timeline.
Yes,
still
and
part of
that's coming up
2017. I wasn't
next.
aware that we were doing this by month and timestamp.
Well,
Okay, so yes, when Argus and we were on the Vindikar and we were first being introduced to the Army of the Lights, yes, Illidan fucked it up by killing Zerah.
Mm-hmm. But he wasn't going to be the chosen one.
Why are you're like...
Are you confused?
No, you guys were talking about people that died, and I'm pretty sure that that's the prime Naru. Isn't that somebody important?
But a Naru is definitely not a member of the Burning Legion.
Oh, it's only Burning Legion people?
Well, no, because see, you got what we were saying before with the Burning Legion. You can only kill the Burning Legion in the Nether. Once you've killed them there, they're gone. They don't respawn. Argus, being that it's so corrupted and it's so tied to the Nether, if you kill them on Argus, they're dead. They're never coming back.
So I don't know if you know this, Bell. For just quick synopsis of why they only die on Argus, a demon's soul is tied to the Twisting Nether. So Twisting Nether exists in all realms, whereas like for Draenor, you have an alternate universe where Archimonde was able to manipulate that area, but he was also the same Archimonde that destroyed Dalaran. But right. Gul'dan is a separate Gul'dan. So demons exist in all planes, all realms, all timelines.
Did Jim just get up in the middle of the show?
I think he has to use the restrooms. He had to pee. He's been drinking a lot.
What the fuck is happening right now? Is this in real life happening? I know you can hear me, Jim, and I am flabbergasted that you just got up in the middle of the show. I don't know how to recover from this, guys. I'm usually quite professional. He can't hear me, but I know he can see my face.
But you can hear you now.
Pardon?
Hi. Welcome back.
I didn't interrupt anything. Continue. I love lore. Is everything okay? Sorry, I had to leave for 1 second. Is everything okay? I didn't wreck the show, did I? If I wrecked the show, I apologize. There was a lot of P's and Q's.
Oh, I'm crying here.
Tell us more. I agree with what you guys were saying. I was intrigued. And then what were you saying?
Okay.
Okay, deep breath. We're good.
Please be more professional.
Okay, so we have all the demons. They're tied to the twisting nether. Oh, and so, for instance, in Hellfire Citadel, this isn't 2017, but Archimon were able to kill in terms of the story because the mythic fight, actually, he dies in the twisting nether. So that explains
Have you seen the Archimon mythic fight, Bell?
I watched video, yes.
Okay, that part where he dies there is in the nether, so he doesn't come back. He's gone.
Good to know.
And that's what we're saying with Zira. When she died or it died. There's no coming back from that.
Oh, because we were on the Vindicar, which was on Argus.
Well, it doesn't matter. They die no matter what. If you kill one, they're gone.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, with the demons, and this is why the Burning Legion has been such a massive thing, and how they've actually been able to get around with it in the story as well, is that it just keeps sending hordes back in, because as soon as they die, their soul gets reclaimed and they respawn their bodies and they send them right back into battle. That's why they've been such an overwhelming force throughout, the entire story since even back into Warcraft 1.
Since this is the year in review for story, I have a question.
Yeah.
Is this means then for this year and all the people that we've killed, and then especially with in Taurus, we're killing people, they're dead, right? These guys are dead. Is that the way? Is that their way of basically putting the Legion to rest?
As a Burning Legion as a whole, yes, you might see pockets of demons in the future, because we're not gonna be able to kill every single one of them in our raid on Argus. So we might see some callbacks or some little subplot where the Dreadlords or maybe Mal'Ganis or someone that is kind of large and iconic come back and be kind of like a splinter group, and there's some type of altercations, or maybe a pit lord tries to amass a bunch of demons. Because, I mean, there's so many demons and so many different subplots and so many different species in that whole spectrum that they can make anything really for BFA.
And it's about time some of them we actually had to put away too, like Veramathras, for example. We see in Taurus. Do you know how many times as an alliance back in Wrath of the Lich King that I actually went in and killed his ass in Sylvanas' lair?
Yeah, well, he's a cunt, so there's that.
Right. So he's standing there in Sylvanas' throne room, and how many times you killed him and killed him and killed him, and yet he would respawn. And the way you got around that story-wise is, again, he was tied to the Twisting Nether.
I didn't even know that we killed him when we would go raid. That did not make that connection. This is why it sucks to not be the super story person, because you miss, I think, nuances. I never would have known that.
Yeah, he was in the throne room with Sylvanas. He allied himself with her through a whole convoluted story. But now that we've killed him in Taurus, he's gone. He'll never be able to respawn. But I even said this, a year ago, and correct me if you think I'm stretching it by any means here, Rems, but we've done so many fights against the Burning Legion. It was becoming repetitive. Storyline, it was becoming repetitive. Kill this demon, let him respawn, kill him again. Kill this demon, let him respawn, kill him again. And I think we needed to get to a point too they
need to tie off the loose ends in that part,
right.
Like the Azeroth was technically, the way we look at it now, was created by the Burning Legion, because you had the War of the Ancients, and that altercation caused the very first Sundering. So
I thought Azeroth is there's a old god or Titan ? Living inside
a Titan soul,
a Titan world soul. Yeah.
Well, didn't the Titan create Azeroth?
So, we're gonna go way
Just
So
give me the short
Titans-
version.
Okay, so the Titans first came to Azeroth when the old gods had the Black Empire. They kicked
Cthulhu.
their ass. Cthulhu, Yuxaron, Yuxaraj, all of them. Yusarj.
And
sorry.
Zoth.
Yeah. So they kicked their ass, locked them away, remade Azeroth into what was pretty much their Pangea, which was the old Kalimdor. There was a Well of Eternity where your Sarge was ripped out, and they healed it by creating the Well of Eternity. So it's pretty much like a font of arcane magic. And so that attracted the Burning Legion. The Burning Legion tried to harness it, and Ashara and the Night Elf rebellion caused it to explode because they closed the portal, and you have the Sundering, and you have what it is now.
And then for BFA, the Heart of Azeroth, which is the medallion, is basically tied to the wound from Silithus that we have to fix, right? We're putting in all that Azerite to fix the wound?
Yeah,
Question
so
mark?
the Heart of Azeroth is a direct gift from Azeroth itself.
Oh.
What they're
Right.
saying. Yeah.
Oh.
And
Yeah.
I think too. I mean, forgive me, with the Heart of Azeroth, the whole scar. That's from the sword of Sargeras, right?
I thought it
Isn't
was...
there a
That's
big-
what it's going to tie into. Yeah.
Okay. And I think when we move forward too into when you start getting into the battle for Azeroth, and if you notice over the last 3 expansions, look at Pandaria, we joined together to fight the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
Move to Warlords of Draenor. We moved together join together with the Horde and the Alliance to fight the bad guys. Same thing with Legion. I honestly, I've always said I think we're heading back more into the old gods and the corruption that still lies beneath. That I think this is what's going to spawn a lot of the fighting between the Alliance and the Horde as well. Is that we're finishing up everything that has to do with the Burning Legion to move on to something new.
Yeah.
And I think that's where we're heading to. I always said we're heading back towards the old gods because we really haven't fought in one yet. We fought manifestations of them, Cthulhu, Yogg-Saron.
Yeah.
Right. We never actually fought the old gods themselves or actually got rid of them because we said we couldn't. And then we learned that, your Shaw's was ripped out. And so you get all this stuff that are moving together. I think when we're going to move away from the Burning Legion, get back into the old gods and back almost coming full circle, as we start moving forward. And I think maybe this corruption of the old gods is what's actually going to start the fighting as well.
BFA will be the lead-in,
No,
right,
100%.
to an expansion that's typically, like, I think BFA is just the starting point for the bigger stuff, because a lot of people have been talking on the forums the same thing. Well, we're not seeing a lot of old god stuff this expansion, although we've seen nuances to that. We've seen the armor that has the tentacles, right, over Kulteris. Like, we've seen there's things that are alluding to that. But I don't think we're going to see a whole lot of that in BFA. If we do it, I think it'll be kind of towards the end, maybe, question mark. I feel like BFA is just going to be the story that gets to that.
There'll definitely be hints throughout BFA, and there'll be a lot of foreshadowing. But like I said, and I don't remember which episode or what context, but everything that's going on is because of the old gods. You have the corruption of the Emerald Dream, Yogg-Saron and a Star Knight wrapping around the fallen old tree. I think it was Aldrassil up in Northrend. But we're going to see a lot of foreshadowing, and it's going to tie in a lot of the old stuff that it's all the old gods.
A question was
Azeroth.
asked in chat, which it's on topic but off topic. Who started the fight? Which this isn't really 2017 related. Who started the fight? Horde and Alliance. Remind me to get back to that, because I do want to have... I have some theories myself, guys. Yeah, this bitch has got some theories, okay? They may not be the greatest theories, but I got theories. But remind me, whoever asked that, remind me to get back to that, because I do want to talk about that in a different episode, because that is a rabbit hole that I would like to jump down, honestly.
I've fallen on that rabbit hole.
Yeah.
I'll go down that. Yeah.
I think
But,
it'd be
okay.
a good banter. Anyway, okay, wrapping up 2017 story.
Okay, so a small tidbit, not really a whole lot of story, but it was interesting, and maybe maybe expands on the bronze dragonflight and what they might be able to do later on was the Chromie scenario where we help her find out who's trying to kill her and all that good stuff. So that might tie in with the fact that Silithus and the sword and all that good stuff. I don't want to talk a lot about that because one, Lycan hasn't seen a monumental thing, and yeah.
LFR's not out. We said we would wait until after
Right.
the final wing of LFR had been out for at least a week to give people chance to get into that content. So yeah, we still have another. You still got another couple weeks, Rem, before we
Yeah.
can get into the nitty gritty on that.
But so we've talked a little bit about Argus, and I know that Lycan obviously said earlier that's one of his favorite things, and that's one of my top 5 things because Draenei is one of the pivotal key factors into the story of Azeroth and World of Warcraft, and not really Warcraft related at all, but I believe Draenei are Protoss secretly somehow in the future. Anyways, so we have
StarCraft. StarCraft.
The little guys, the little one-eyed like little robot eye things. Yeah.
No, those are the probes. Yeah, Probius. Yeah.
I don't
but-
know. I don't play StarCraft. Shit.
So the story with Argus, it kind of told a lot about why the Burning Legion was actually able to be so strong that it was. So because they were harnessing the world soul that was in there, and he was corrupting and harnessing the power of Argus and corrupting it to become pretty much his little Titan bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Use the language.
Sounds like
Because-
my kind of guy. Let's be friends.
And it's what he did to Argamar in Antorus. So he, during the retcon and the story arc of that story, he captured his soul and manipulated it and corrupted it so that he was a pawn. And so Argus has been going through this turmoil for thousands of years. Imagine being in the hole, Sam. I don't know who Sam
Diggity.
is. Phil.
Did you
Imagine
call
being
me
in the
Bill?
hole.
What the fuck?
Phil. Imagine being in the hole for prison for literally thousands of years.
I mean, I can imagine the feeling.
That's
for
what-
a
yeah.
couple years. I can imagine that terrible. Like, what would you do? Is there TV? Is there
There's
commissary?
no TV.
Do you get
There's literally-
visits?
You are.
Can you
all
at
you
least
are-
crochet? Like, what do
No.
they do in this prison? What did Illidan do while he was frozen? Was he conscious?
He sat there with his thought. I mean, actually, there's not really any evidence of there being any like consciousness or them being able to tell.
Yeah, because when he came out, when he was released, that was like one of how much time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they do talk about him remembering things and being.
Yeah, the first time he was in the
knows?
dungeon. Yeah, the first time he was in the dungeon for the wardens, he was only chained. He wasn't like
Yeah.
encased. Whereas after the Black Temple deal, he's kind of like, what's going on? Because he's
I feel like I could get down with like 1,000-year-old prison. Like, we could be cool, but if you could just make sure that I get like my moon pies and
yeah,
make
no,
sure
there's
that I
nothing-
have
there's
like
no
my
moon pies.
make sure I have my smokes. Like, make sure I have some of the comforts at home. I think I can handle it.
Imagine, like, for instance, in hospital terms, when a anesthesia goes bad and you're able to tell what's going on around you, but you can't feel your toes, anything like that. You just have your brain. You only have your consciousness. Imagine that, but someone's sitting there poking and prodding you over and over and over and over for thousands of years.
I mean, it just depends. Context. I mean,
Right.
given the right situation and
I
the
don't
right
judge.
amount of alcohol, I might be okay with that. So it just,
But, like, so
guys, it just depends. Why you ask shit like that, Rem? You know I'm gonna have to. It's like marriage, exactly. Like, some days it's great, and I would like more. Other days, I would like you to roll over and go the fuck to sleep. Like,
so you haven't seen a whole lot of Antorus, but have you seen some of the background to like the Covenant of the Shavara
Oh yeah.
and stuff like that? So you know that, like for instance, when a demon fails, they come back, they are reformed on Argus, and they're pretty much tortured for their failure and So that being the next point, because you have Varimathras and Tichondrius being some of the biggest Dreadlord names being a boss. For instance, Varimathras failing with Sylvanas and with his ploy on that. Is that a big word for you too, Belle? Because I can use that word as well. So, what's your
First
thoughts
of all,
on
I know words like anti-disestablishmentarianism. However the fuck you say that. Just kidding. I don't know that word.
You feeling
You
froggy?
just know how to say it.
I got excited for a second, and then I remembered that I have to think about each syllable before I say it out loud.
But Varimathras, we talked a little about how we were able to kill him over and over and over and over in Undercity, but because you've seen how he looks, have you seen some of his dialogue?
Not the dialogue itself. I was kind of waiting to go into that. Like you said, not being. It's nice not actually sitting there having to know all this up front. And able to see it during context now, and I'm going, okay, well, if I just wait, like I sat there, I've waited to like look at like things behind Varimathras. I'm going, no, I'm not going to get into it right now. But that is it sounds really bad by saying it, by not being on the show anymore. It is really nice to be able to actually see this stuff live. Yeah,
the excitement to build up. Yeah. Do you? Okay, I won't talk about that then, because there's a dialogue that's really interesting that you'll enjoy because it ties in a bunch of old stuff. But yeah, so Argus being unveiled is probably one of the most important parts of Legion, World of Warcraft, everything in general, and part of not only in the game but Chronicle Volume 2 coming out this year was pretty huge. No.
Oh.
3 is coming out March 26th. Okay. I know that because it's the day after my birthday. Hint, hint, nudge, nudge. Anyways.
I already forgot what you said.
Story arc, retcon.
But yeah.
For Chronicle Volume 2, it brought a lot of stuff back in, explaining a lot of things and all that good stuff.
Guys, we have had... Excuse me, I had to clear my throat. We've had a very, very long episode. Longer than intended, but I think it's good. I think these were things that needed to be said. And if you didn't particularly like one element that we talked about, the good news is we talked about several, guys, because that's what we do. We bring the information to the masses. So if you didn't necessarily like the lore, that's okay. You like the pet battles? I don't know why. That's okay also.
I know why.
I mean, it's because Jimma is a little... Guys, last week Rem was drunk, and this week it's Jimma. Next week's going to be my week, I feel like. This was an important episode, so I wanted to make sure, like... You know what I mean? Like, I was semi-lucid. Next week, I feel like, is going to be my week to just go ham sandwich and, do the stuff, the things, and the cha-cha.
To Belle, everyone.
No, not to Belle. There's no Belle. But I do want to say a couple things while Jimma's drinking another shot. I do want to thank you guys. I know we got some new people tonight. Hey, guys, if you're new to Pwnecast, make sure you follow the channel. Make sure you head on over to our YouTube channel. Just search Pwnecast. Give us a subscribe. Watch past episodes. Sometimes coming in at the tail end of stuff, you don't really know what you're getting into. But we love new people. And guys, I am happy to be wrapping up another year along with you guys here. I can't believe it's just another year. Jim was just... knocking back the fucking juice. Yeah, I'm super excited for all the things coming up in the new year. We talked 2 episodes ago about pre-show for our Twitch subs and our Patreon supporters. So if you support us on Patreon, or if you are a Twitch sub, starting next week, well, it's probably going to be starting this week because I recorded the pre-show, which is not half bad. We are going to start release that. We're going to be releasing that pre-show for Patreon. I'll link you in the Patreon posts. And for Twitch subs, I will. It'll be VODs that only you guys can see if you sub to us on Twitch.
Fancy.
Now, I want to just make sure those of you that are new, or don't really know a whole lot about us, I don't like doing things for money, guys. I don't believe we should charge for information because information is free.
$20 is $20.
Right, 20 bucks.
True that.
It is 20 bucks. But I am giving people that have supported us, I want to give them something. So the pre-show, sometimes there's nuggets in there, guys. Like shit goes down pre-show that we don't ever talk about our show publicly, but it is going to be at minimum 30 minutes. It might be more just depending on the week, but that'll be for your guys' eyes only. So make sure you sub on Twitch and make sure, or Patreon, whichever you prefer. It doesn't matter to me one way or the other, but
Or
you'll
both.
get... We'll do that this week, so probably starting tomorrow, I'll release the 30-minute pre-show for you guys. It'll always be released probably the Friday because I'm not going to do it Thursday night when the show's over because I'm tired. Anyway, now that I got all of that out of the way, I'm really happy that I got that out of the way. I wanted to make sure there are people that support us on both Twitch and Patreon. I wanted them to know that I got them taken care of, and we appreciate it. Anyway, guys, this is the last episode of 2017. Jim is not going to remember this fucking shit tomorrow, and that's going to be amazing. I'm going to be angry when I rewatch the show tomorrow, and that's okay. It's going to be all right, guys. We're going to make it through this. We had Lycan, which was a pleasure. So thank you for
100%. Yeah.
thank you for coming back.
It was nice to be here.
It's nice to have the nostalgia. I miss a lot of things in the past, but we always have to look forward to the future, right? We can't always go around crying in our peas, guys. We have to, you know.
So with the pre-show now being included, plus this, I'll send you a bill for $750.
Because now we have all of that stuff added in there, guys.
Oh yeah, no, that's
If you caught this on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or YouTube, some of it's probably a little weird, and I apologize in advance, but I mean, that's what happens when you're live.
It's a pleasure having you, and I miss you,
Or
dog.
is it over?
I know.
Bye.
Yeah, I didn't say goodbye yet, but yes, thank you for joining us. Hope to see you again soon. Do you have anything you want to say to all your many followers?
My many followers?
Yeah.
Hey, you fool.
Yeah, she's only talking to you. Shit.
Jim went a little ghetto right there. I apologize. He's like my husband when he drinks, the ghetto comes out.
I mean, I can start rapping for you if you want me
No,
to.
we're okay.
No,
Are you sure?
Yes, we're good.
That's
Okay.
the one thing we don't miss, dog.
No, honestly, guys, if you guys still want to hit me up in game, I'm still at #1312. You can visit me on Twitter. I'm on Facebook.
He's still
Find me in all the
powerful
things.
DK,
Right?
Don Argent Don in the guild, still repping hard for Pwnecast / DKs everywhere. The real hero class.
Thank
Right?
you, Jim.
Right?
You've got it all there.
We're going to get the fuck
pleasure.
out of here before Jim embarrasses himself anymore.
Oh,
Guys,
well.
we love you. We will see you in 2018. Thanks for all the love. Thanks for the
3 days
support.
left. It's
We
real.
are going to get the hell on out of here before shit gets any fucking weirder. We're going to get on out of here. Bye.
Big year for Pwnecast
Ladies
2008.
on the men, Jay.
Shout out to the Lord.
Shout out to my bitches down on Liberty and 9th.
Is there a Liberty in 9th where you live?
In Pittsburgh, if people know where that is, they're going to laugh.
Do they have bitches on Liberty in 9th?
Yeah.
Can we buy them?
Respect to all women everywhere.
Right now, they're going to start working, so they should be good.
Like, oh, this is real. Like, that's a
Oh,
real.
yes.
So
Oh,
your
yes.
Liberty in 9th is like our Van Buren.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like Denver's Colfax. You guys don't know what that is, but Colfax is the.
What's Colfax?
Everywhere.
You guys are strange. You're a strange bunch.
It's a road out in